Big news. I have some important news for you.
Interesting news.
It's Blake and Aaron's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
K-Man's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Brought to you by J. Michael, fashion for everyone. Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning, Blake and Aaron. How are you guys doing?
Good. You?
Happy
Awesome.
Wednesday. What do you
Happy
got for us?
Wednesday, Hump Day Wednesday. All right. So the public is being encouraged to have a hurricane plan. This is according to the hazard management team. They're saying that, listen, it's still pretty busy out there as we approach really the continued height of the hurricane season. So Director of Hazard Management, Cayman Islands, Danielle Coleman, has said that we ask individuals to prioritize stocking and replenishing hurricane essentials from now through the remainder of the season. And they've actually got a pretty handy list on prepared.ky/hurricanes. You can go and see some of the recommendations they have for you, but we're not done with hurricane season yet, folks. So make sure that you're ready just in case.
We are not. And if Danny Coleman knows anything, she knows. It's all about life. That's what she said. It's not a joke.
Remember the guy that we reported about yesterday that was charged with burglary of the restaurant and the liquor store, and he ran from the police?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, we actually found out he is known to us because he is the same guy who took that lady's wallet that had several $1,000s in it
Okay.
and spent her money. We were
Right.
looking for him a couple weeks ago, remember?
Yeah.
Who walks around with several $1,000s in their wallet?
No, I think that
Well,
she
she was going to
rent.
pay her mortgage.
Oh,
and
Yeah, mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She couldn't do it online. She didn't have online banking, yada, yada, yada. So unfortunately, yes, she'd taken the money out to go pay her mortgage, and he basically stole her mortgage money.
So rude.
So I noticed that he hasn't been charged with that particular offense yet. I'm not sure why, but I think further charges will be coming. So I was a little bit surprised yesterday. Somebody stopped me and said, wait a minute, it's the same guy. And I said, really? So as is usually the case, these guys, they're committing multiple offenses, especially when it comes to theft and burglary and so on. Yep. Okay. So we've got more than 5,000 persons, unfortunately, presumed dead in Libya after flooding has hit that country. This is the latest. And
I heard it was 10.
has it gone up to 10 already?
Bad.
Oh my God.
That's a lot.
Natural disasters all over the place.
Yep.
We will definitely be sending our prayers and hopefully some money to those individuals as well. It's a lot going on right now, but we encourage people to contact reputable organizations, nonprofit organizations that will have some options in place for, assisting these countries. All right. One final one. Congratulations to some of the local high schools. The Water Authority has outfitted Layman E. Scott Senior High School in Cayman Brac with updated laboratory equipment. So this is a $30,000 donation from the Water Authority. So thank you to Water Authority.
That's great.
Right.
Yeah, fantastic news.
Love it.
All right, you guys have a good day. Happy
You
Hump
too.
Day.
We'll catch you coming up on Bobo 89.1 FM. We'll see you tomorrow.
Alrighty. Okay, folks. Buenos dias. Good morning. Couple seconds left before we're going to kick off live on radio. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's community radio. We are still spilling the tea and committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
Come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman, live direct. It's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626.
Going on out there? I keep hearing that there's something going on with traffic, but I don't know what yet. So a lot of people have sent me some correspondence saying that traffic is backed up in the eastern districts. People can't get out from the side roads. So I'm not really sure what that's about, but if anybody has any idea, Wagwan, do let me know. You can give us a call too if you're stuck in it. 936 Bobo is the telephone number. So, yeah. I can tell you that if you're just leaving out or if you've left out recently, you are going to be stuck in traffic for a while, it seemed like this morning. Like I said, though, no actual indication of what's causing it, what's actually going on. So as soon as we have some details, I will certainly let you know. But somebody said they were trying to come out of Moonbeam area, can't get out in the main road. It's like they've been at a standstill for about 15 minutes. So I guess whatever it is, that's going all the way back in that direction. And other people, Savannah area, were saying that they can't get out of, Newlands Road, Hearst Road, Savannah to the main road. So, not really quite sure what's going on, honey chill. But hopefully we'll have someone informing us here shortly. I'll keep an eye on the messages to see what's happening. So yeah, strange things going on with the traffic. All right, so I'll try to keep an eye on social media messages. Maybe somebody will send me something that explains it all. I don't know. Okay. So happy hump day. We actually have Minister J.E. Banks, who's supposed to be coming on the program today, but I understand he is also stuck in traffic. Tell you. Something. Okay. Well, once we know, you'll be the next to know once I know. All right, let me see here. Some good people sending me some messages. Let's see if there's anything going on. Okay. All right, so we're going to be talking about 15 and pregnant this morning. This is a hot mess of a situation, but we can't shy away from these issues, honey Joe. Trust and believe me when I tell you that this is a hot mess. Okay. Okay. I don't see any messages yet about what's going on, but I'm going to continue to keep a visual on the situation. All right, let's see who's here with me this morning. Beautiful morning, Miss Vernita. Good morning. She says, do good and good will follow you. Sometimes, like I said, it's not quite as simple. Sometimes you do good and bad follows you, chill. But do good anyway. I hope that we don't do good expecting good things to happen, because sometimes they don't. And that's just life. You just do it because, you want to do good. Let me see here. Okay. right, folks. Let me see here. No clue what this person's talking about. This one says, "Hi, Cayman Mar. I recently involved in an accident. Someone hit my car from behind. He promised to fix it. In the garage. Okay, we'll have to do that for Consumer Day. Can you assist me, please?" Oh my gosh, what a mess. We'll have to do a Consumer Day one day this week because we got a lot of them piling up, from rental money to hit and run. Somebody said yesterday that they were in an accident, and the police said, contact CMR. We can't help you. I was like, okay. So I'm supposed to be doing the police's job now? Like, I'm a little bit confused by that. Because everything, they're like, oh, it's a civil matter. Contact CMR. Okay. All right, Miss Evelyn, good morning. How are you? She says, Haley Wednesday. What's Haley? Who's Haley? Marshall is here. Diamond Princess is in the house. Wee, Miss Morna. Leroy is in class. Leroy, are you back in the Grand Caymans? Or are you still in Florida? Good morning, Mr. Mario Bush. How are you doing, honey chill? Leroy says they need to deport him. Oh, yeah, we can come to him in a minute. Oh, what a hot mess. Robert, how are you? Felicia, Miss Olivia, Miss Gina's here. Miss Morna says, Cayman kind. He not going anywhere. Trust me. Damaris joining us from JFK. Debbie, Stephanie, it's Stephanie's birthday today. Happy birthday, Steph. How are you? Stephanie Brooks celebrating a big one today. Yay. She says, morning, Sandy and CMR family. Have an awesome day. Thank you. Patricia Blake in the house. Miss Iva's here. Good morning, Mario. Miss Dean saying good morning to everyone. Miss Edith. Hey, Miss Edith. I've not seen you in a minute. How are you, my dear? Hope that all is well. Mitzi Tomlinson in the house. Juanita is here. Shaka Zulu. Hello. Joining us from Aventura, as in Aventura, Florida. Nice. Daisy, good morning. Buenos dias. Samoon, dying with laughter. Contact CMR. Please, can't help. I'm serious. And it's not the first time that they've, I think individual officers recognize what it is. And they're like, listen, just go to Sandy. Just go to Cayman Mall Road. She'll help you find your stolen car, get your money back. It's just crazy that they recommend it, to be honest. But anyway, here we are. Miss Olive says somebody said they just passed the pileup. Did you get any pictures? What was causing it? Let's see if we can find out here in a second. So didn't see anything that could have caused it, just the usual traffic and the bypass now. Oh, wow. Okay. A mess. Why is somebody sending me this thing about Pfizer? The government of the Republic of South Africa, acting through the National Department of Health of South Africa. Okay. Why are you sending me this? Y'all need to really get over the whole conspiracy theory. Oh my gosh. Y'all are so funny. I'm past it. I don't know about the rest of you, but yes, y'all. Just leave it right where it is. If you haven't gotten the vaccine, you're either alive or not. And at this point, it doesn't really matter. Just live your best life. All right, let's move on. I'm going to get my booster in December because that's the last time I had mine. Good morning, Olive. Alejandro's here. Leroy says he's back in the 345. Irvin jokes and says, contact the commissioner of CMR. Vicky, good morning. Angela's in the house. Marshall is here. Says you've been doing their job for a while now. Oh, geez, I'm peace. Alejandro says, Sandy, come and recruit me for some service. What would we call it? We're not going to call it the RCIPS, obviously. Erica, buenos dias. Edith says, we're good here in Rotan, Honduras. Beautiful. So nice to hear that. Diamond Princess says, we live in an era where most girls have no value. Oh, Lord, we're getting to that, girlfriend. This situation really, really has gotten under my skin in a way. Oh, my God. Alejandro says, don't open it, scam. Oh, no, it's some screenshot that somebody sent me in WhatsApp. A very good morning, Sandy. Have a wonderful day today and take care. Thank you, Miss Lucille. Alejandro says, I love a good conspiracy. You're not the only one. There's a lot of people in Cayman who easily fall for anything. I see it all the time. Oh, Facebook is going to start charging you. Da, 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 da. Oh, WhatsApp is no longer going to be free. I'm like, oh my God. How many times have we seen these messages for you to not know by now that it actually just isn't true? Stop sending me this foolishness. My goodness. Y'all are so gullible. I'm surprised that you have any money left. I'm surprised that somebody hasn't hoodwinked you out of your little life savings, that you haven't fallen for some romance scandal yet. Not scandal, romance scam. Barbara says, good morning, everybody. Have a good day. Miss Alba, buenos dias. Shaka Zulu is in Abbotsford, Florida. We're going to the LCMRS. L stands for what? We got CMR. You got to give me, okay, we have the acronym, but what are the letters standing for? Are you wearing your officer hat this morning? Greetings, Officer Sandy. Hello, Madam Dean. Not all conspiracies are lies. Most turn out to be true. Actually, most don't turn out to be true at all. Very few turn out to be true. But, you know, you're free to believe in conspiracies if you want. I mean, that's kind of your prerogative. It is what it is. But, yeah, most conspiracies do not turn out to be true at all. It's kind of hard in this day and age to hide much of anything, I got to tell you. There's always somebody watching, recording, leaking documents. You got WikiLeaks, you got Sandy leaks, you got CMR leaks, you know, you got civil servant leaks. It is near impossible to keep anything a secret because people just don't hold water. They just, and it is what it is. Thank you, Miss Dean. I'm glad you like the red jacket today. You know, I have all these fancy clothes in my closet, honey child, jackets and all kind of stuff, and I hardly ever wear them. So I thought this week I'd spruce things up just a little bit. Thank you. I noticed that some of you have noticed. So yeah, put on my little jacket. Red is such a beautiful color. I love red. It's like one of my favorite colors, if not my favorite color. First Lady says, good morning to you all. Looking wonderful. Thank you, darling. Okay. So let me see what go on. All right. So just wrap up a few things and then we're going to talk about being 15 and pregnant. What a hot mess. So guess what, folks? I didn't realize yesterday when we were reporting about this person who's charged with burglarizing a liquor store and restaurant, that was the same guy, believe it or not, who those people are so funny. That was the same guy who actually took the woman's wallet. And then somebody pinched me last night. They're like, Sandy, that's him. And I said, wait a minute, that's not the name that we had. So I think the name was wrong initially, but look at him. Look at him good. That's him, child. He definitely has thieving fingers. You know, he obviously has some kind of addiction problem. My only thing that I'm going to say really that's left to say is this man has got to go. He's not a Caymanian. I hope y'all don't get insulted when I tell you these things, right? And if you do, oh, well, you'll live. An insult never killed anybody, as far as I know. Anyway, but listen to me, folks. Here's the situation. You know, it's like 3 strikes and you're out. Or in the United States of America, you commit a felony and they don't care if you're an American citizen. Remember that policy? They were going to get rid of you, ship you out, boop, boop, serve your time and get going. And I think that we need to start taking this position. And I hope that some of our MPs are paying attention because as our population grows, undoubtedly over the years, we've imported one too many criminals. And, you know, we don't have much of a choice with our homegrown ones, unfortunately. I wish we could ship them off too, but, you know, they're ours. So we got to make space for them in the jailhouse and have to feed them 3 meals a day, give them free TV and all this sort of stuff. But honestly, when it comes to imported criminals, and I don't care how you're imported, I don't care if you're married to a Caymanian, I don't care if you came here at the age of 5 and your mama was here for umpteenth years and she got you status through her and whatever. If you were not like a born and certified, let me put it that way, Caymanian, then you got to go, honey child, when you turn into a hardcore criminal like this man. I want to know what his rap sheet looked like. Child, that's probably like a mile long already. So why are we keeping him here? He's not adding or contributing anything to this community. And that's my basic thing, right? If you go to somebody else's country, I've lived in somebody else's country, there's certain things that you do and certain things that you don't do. And you got to have respect for the country and the people and the laws of that country. And the day that you have lost respect, then guess what? Pack your bags and get going. Yeah, it's as simple as that. So, this dude, he is just a menace in the worst kind of way. So I don't make any apologies, child, when I say this man has got to go. What is he doing here? Committing crime, stealing from people, wreaking havoc in the community. He just doesn't care. So can someone try and expedite him a little ticket back to Jamrock? Because look at him. Always up to something. So they have arrested him or charged him again. And if you read the article carefully, you'd see how he was actually fighting off the police, which apparently is his MO. So remember I told you guys the last time he was evading police in town, I think he got away, and he was bragging to people about how, the police lucky that he didn't have his gun on him. Really, dude? Y'all take my advice and get rid of this man pronto. Start his extradition paperwork, CBC. So he assaulted police, beating them up. It says here that he became aggressive and attempted to escape from the officers, causing minor injury to one of the police officers, and he was arrested on suspicion of burglary and for resisting arrest and assaulting police. A search of his person was conducted, and apparently 2.5 pounds of a suspected ganja was recovered. He was further arrested on suspicion and possession of ganja and possession with intent to supply. Really? This is your supplier? You people who love your little smokes? This is a dude that you're going to go get ganja from. Boy, y'all must be really desperate. I mean, geez, on peace. What the hell? Anyway, his name is Sean Maurice Walker. Only 42 years old. He looks like he's about clocking 65 almost, but that's what a drug-filled life and a rough life will get you. You don't get to look cute for much longer. So anywho, they say Walker, who is from Georgetown. Now, Caymanians, if you didn't know this, Caymanians get very, very upset when you say somebody, he's from Georgetown. They can tell you, he don't know Georgetown, Sandy. What are you talking about Georgetown? He don't know Georgetown. He's not even a Caymanian. I'm just telling you. That's what Caymanians can tell you, boy. They're like, make sure you set that record straight, Because, we don't want it like that. We're not claiming him. Anywho, the police always say it this way. Walker, who is from Georgetown, they just mean the brother lives in Georgetown, but anywho, has since been formally charged with 2 counts of burglary in relation to 2 separate incidents. Well, it looks like they need to charge him with a few other things because they're supposed to be charging him with that lady's wallet theft. That's $2,000. They're supposed to be charging him with resisting arrest and assaulting the police. So I'm assuming that those additional charges are going to be coming his way. So they say that the first incident was August the 22nd, when a restaurant on Shedden Road and Martin Drive was discovered to have been broken into and cash and other items were taken. So remember now, this man, I don't know what he does with his money exactly, because the woman's wallet went missing. That was like the end of August. So a couple days before that, he had burglared a restaurant, and then he went into a liquor store, and he still had the audacity. Well, the liquor store one was September the 4th. So that was after her wallet. And then he turns around and still has the audacity to take this poor woman's wallet and spend every dollar in it. The dude, in addition to being just a common thief and criminal, has no financial sense whatsoever. But easy come, easy go, right? When it's not your money, I assure you, you hardly care what happens to it because you didn't have, it wasn't by the sweat of your brow that you had to earn that money. No, sir. I tell y'all, I would be in charge of the cow cod division of the, what are we calling it? What are we calling our agency there, Alejandro? LCMR. Well, what do you say? We can call it whatever the heck we're gonna call it. CMR Police Service, right? And somebody said, "Oh yeah, what about the ganja charge? Yeah, he needs to be charged with that too." So it looks like they've only charged him so far with the 2 most serious offenses, but all the charges need to be laid. That doesn't even make any sense to me. I'm gonna double check the court's office today and see if maybe they left that out of the press release because he should be charged with everything. Stick everything on this man. Okay? And then we need to start deportation papers after this. Don't keep him here any longer. So, yes, honey chill. I'll be in charge of the cow card division of the CMR PS, Police Service. Ugh, because he would be one of the first. Well, he probably wouldn't be one of the first because all child molesters need to line up first. And oh God, we got a long list of them, honey chill. But he would be on the list somewhere. I would just be like, pew! I don't know how hard it is to hit somebody with a cow cod. Is it like somebody said it's pliable? Anyway, he would get a couple licks, child. I'd be pretending like I was my aunt back in the day. Bend over, pull down your pants and bend over this chair. Yikes. All right. Mr. David Bodden in the house. He says, good morning to you. You're looking so lovely today. Oh, thank you, Mr. David. Andrea says he's an addict and he needs to go get help. Well, he can get that help in Kingston, Jamaica, because I understand there's a great facility there, numerous facilities that would get him help. Child, please. I can tell you one thing. I bet you he go back to Jamaica and he's not going to survive a year because them police officers, they're not joking with nobody. And they not walk around with cow card either. They walk around with live bullets and some guns and they will take your behind out. So make him be their problem. Why are we taking this on? I mean, I might sound a little bit rough this morning in terms of, oh, Sandy, I got a heart. But, I got heart for a lot of things, but this is not it. We are inundated already with foolishness. And there's so much foolishness we can adopt and take on. So I agree he's an addict. Now, I don't know if the thievery came before he was an addict or is that a result of the addiction. And quite frankly, I don't really care which came first. He does need to get help for his addiction. But, a lot of these people refuse to avail themselves of the services that are here. There's good services in Cayman if you're an addict that you can get help. But once again, take that residency document, rip that up, put him on a plane and say, sayonara, adios. Don't let the door hit you in the behind, kind of, but goodbye. Good morning, OJ. I hope I'm finally getting that name right. Alejandro says, we keep importing third world law enforcement. What else do you expect when they import third world crime? Yes, that's also an issue. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sandy.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. If I had to be any better, it would have to be you.
Hallelujah.
How in this world did he ever get here? And to talk about, he has a rap sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. When you find a person, I wouldn't even call him a person, an animal like him, to steal somebody steal somebody's money, and the way that he's going on, robbing people, going into stores, he didn't run that here since he came to Cayman.
I agree.
Brought that with him. He brought that with him, and I don't care if I step on somebody's corns. I have no apologies to make to anyone. The CBC has failed letting people like him into this country.
I couldn't agree with you more.
I mean, it's really sad that we have become a third world country because we never had that kind of we have never had that animals coming in here like him until until McKeever let in these 300 or 3,000 people. We can't always blame McKeever for everything because he did his share, and the government of the year of that time also got a little pleasure letting their friends, and they're all looking for votes. It's sad. We have not had that problem until when McKeever let in 3,000, and then from 3,000 you got probably another 9 or 10,000 people that came in, because in Jamaica or any place they can go to a crooked judge and say, listen, hey, this is my cousin, but I want you to change his birth certificate to being my son. It's sad. I mean, I made it seem like I'm being a little radical, but I don't care.
I mean, listen, sometimes you need to be a little radical for people to pay attention, apparently.
People got to put their foot down, and enough is enough. And what the hell is CBC? Because he's not the only one in this country like him. He's the only one that got caught. Sometimes you gotta be lucky that they get caught too. Anyway, Sandy,
thank you, darling. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you're exposing a lot of people. They need that here. We needed you years ago, but unfortunately, it didn't come about until the last couple of years.
They say all in good time. But you know what, Mr. Dexter? I think a lot of people forget this, and it might be worth noting this now. I don't know if you remember my original talk show called Straight Talk. That was
I remember.
When was that? 2009-ish, I think. And that was on the rise. And it was very, very popular. Now, unfortunately, I pissed off the wrong people and the talk show got axed.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
So here we are again, honey chill. But the lot has changed since then. So hopefully, even though people get pissed off, we can still keep going.
It's better to be pissed off than be pissed on,
That's for sure. Thank you so much, caller. Appreciate it.
Anyway, you take care.
All right, my darling. I'm going to ask the powers that be, why is this man still here?
What the hell is going on?
Yeah,
because
I want to know.
Wrong with, you could say, how did he ever became? Is he a Caymanian or?
Well, I was told that apparently his mother knew one of the Cayman Brac politicians, the female one. This is what the street said now, so I can't vouch for it one way or the other. But the mother went to her and somehow got him status. I don't know on what basis, but anywho, that's what the streets are talking. That's how he got it through his mama.
That politician need to go, or any politician, not just him, not that person. Then he or she need to go to jail.
That's why politicians should not get involved in the process of letting people get status or anything of the sort. In fact, I don't even think politicians should be writing recommendation letters, to be quite frank and honest. Not for that sort of thing.
They should not. Because if they're writing recommendations, they're looking for votes. You're not gonna see many politicians coming up to and helping anyone now until just before the election. Look at Barney Bush. You couldn't get rid of him before the election. Now where is he? He's gone in hiding. No, I'm serious.
Listen,
I voted for him. I voted for him because I thought he would be a right person. He was a sweet talker. He's can give the greatest bullshit, But the thing about it is that I voted for him, and I tell people, but I hope he doesn't come around And I have a
Mm,
friend. I have a friend who has a lot in the family that he will never get their votes again.
mm-mm. Listen, I keep telling you guys, if we have, and this is where the tire is going to have to meet the road now, because if we have some viable candidates, lots of people are going to be getting voted out. West Bay, almost a clean sweep, with the exception of Andre. They all gone, as far as I'm concerned. But we need good, viable alternatives. And we don't need a million people jumping up for the one seat, because then that's going to split the vote. And that's not going to help the situation at all. But I think that some of these people who run, they end up being, they're like little decoys. They're thrown in there to do exactly that, to split up the vote.
They were like Dalmeen. Dalmeen was an extension cord. And everybody thought him and Eugene was an extension cord.
Yeah.
They only,
I mean, I heard that some people who were running.
Yes.
I heard some people who were running in town last time who knew that they didn't have a chance in hell to ever get elected were simply there because the progressives said, oh, I'll give you $5,000 or $10,000, and they're desperate for money because they're not got a job. Just run. You can see that they didn't really have any public meetings. They didn't do much of anything. And they were just there because even if they get 50 votes, 100 votes, that's still taking away from, and you can lose by just one vote, right? So that's still taken away from, a lot of the newcomers who are trying to get a chance. So there's something to be said for people who split the vote. And I think in this next election, we have to be smarter strategically about, what constituencies people run in. And they have to think about, if we got 5 people running in one constituency and there's only 1,000 votes to go around, that makes no sense whatsoever.
That is dangerous.
Yeah, only have the 2 who can probably have a chance in hell. The incumbent maybe, and whoever else go head to head. So we'll see. But I'm telling you, all of West Bay needs to go except for Andre. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Chris Saunders need to go. I had a neighbor yesterday asking me, Miss Sandy, are you going to run? I said, no, sir. He said, oh, man, we need some good representation.
No, we need you.
Exactly. I said, honey child, who would be, I said, sir, who would be holding them accountable? And he's like, oh, yeah, that's true.
You'll be just like them.
That's right. Well, I wouldn't, but
you go into Parliament.
No, we're not doing it.
There's a lot of money going around,
Yeah. We're not interested in none of that.
But, the thing about it is, Sandy, I'm 76 years old. I'm on the downward spiral right now. I mean, my health is good. And I feel like I'm going to live to be 150 years, but I'll be a pain in somebody's ass if I do that. But anyway, I have no affiliation or association with any political party or any politician. Anytime that I vote somebody in, I vote them who can do the best for this country, not what they can do for me. Financially, I don't need a politician, but I would help a politician that I feel that, but it's so disappointing, they feed you so much verbal diarrhea, and at the end of the day, what do they do? Just sit there and collect their $12 or $15,000 a month. It is sad. But anyway, I better get off before that guy calls in. Curtis calls in and says, "Oh well, at least it's 15 more than 15 minutes."
Well, 10 minutes and 24 seconds. You did good today.
So I'll
have a good one, darling.
If it's 15 minutes, I guess I'll have to call in again and take up my other 5 minutes, right?
Oh my goodness!
Yes, you keep up the good work.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
This country needs you, and you're not into it for the popularity contest.
No, honey child, that's hardly. Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it.
Okay, Sandy.
Okay, good. All right. Good morning, caller, and welcome to the program. Hello. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Hi.
That Mr. Dexter was me giving him hell, man. I would take them for him.
Oh my gosh, your ears were
It
ringing.
wasn't me with the 15 minutes. I say that when he gone, that we can't hear him, we can miss him. It was
Oh,
somebody else
yes.
talking about the 14 minutes that day.
Yeah.
So try
And
making good
I
afternoon.
had
As I was
okay.
listening to him.
I had a caller yesterday who said, but Miss Sandy, what's the big deal if nobody else is calling in? Make him talk and say what he wants to say. And I'm like, yeah, that's true.
I could listen to Mr. Dexter all morning.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I can't put on it today now, though. I go and listen to her. I go on by.
Thank you, Curtis. We soon start talking about the Brax, so you better tune in.
I would leave that alone.
No, honey, chill. We not gonna. All right.
Yeah.
We're not gonna leave nothing alone around here. Every stone is gonna be turned over. So somebody just messaged me. Stacy saying no Jamaica, don't need him, send him to Haiti. Stacy, we can't send him to Haiti if he's not Haitian. They're not gonna take him. Speaking of Haitians, I said Jamaica not easy. Listen to me. The second those Haitians reach Jamaica, you notice what they do in like 2 days, they turning them around and sending them right back. I said Cayman could learn a thing or two from that type of a situation. But you see, the Cubans are different because of them being this so-called communist country, and they can claim political asylum and this and that. Child, please, we need to find a way to turn them right around and send them right back as well. Angela says, Alejandro, I know he's a big man, but he's Jamaican. I'm Jamaican, and I'm tired of people in my country bringing shame on us. I know this is the thing. The good Jamaicans are always like, boy, these people making us look so bad. Oh, my God. Magnum Opus says we will continue to import criminals to this island. There's no political will to deport them because a lot of them have voting family members. Jeez, some peace. We can't be that desperate for a little vote. Miss Venice says that's the kind that they like. We getting like America, instead of shipping them off, we're bringing them in. Imagine. Siobhan says, I agree, should pack up and go home. Cameron says human rights is on a match. There's still a way to deport people, because I think the law says that if they get a sentence of a year or more, they're subject to deportation. I can't imagine how much time this dude has actually spent in jail already. Like, seriously? Time to go, honey child. Good morning, beautiful Andrea. Andrea says people who would do great with papers, and I get it, the ones who would contribute to the island, but this bum shaking my head. Isn't that the truth a lot of times as well? So the LCMRS stands for Loyal Cayman Road Service. That's a good one, Alejandro. Miss Sandra says, Dexter, don't call him an animal. They're demons. And somebody else said, please tell Mr. Dexter not to insult animals by referring to this guy as an animal. Miss Beulah, good morning. How are you? Siobhan says, don't forget the ones that were in jail that got status. Listen, that whole, and I agree with Mr. Dexter, at some point, we can't blame everything on Mr. Bush. However, I think the 3,000 status grants had very, very long-lasting implications. And it's not like these things just go away overnight, right? Even COVID, it was so funny when we were watching the interview by Premier Panton about the budget, and he mentioned something about COVID, and someone said, oh, but COVID's over. And I was like, hold on. First of all, COVID isn't over. But in addition to that, you guys do understand that the financial implications of COVID continue to this day and will continue for a very, very long time. I mean, COVID put us in a serious financial hole. This country was shut down. No tourism. I mean, financial services, thank God for financial services. It really held its own. But that doesn't mean that now that the country has been reopened, have we been reopened about a year now? That means that the implications of COVID have disappeared. We're still feeling inflation partly because of COVID, and that's not going to retract anytime soon, if ever. So, don't take it lightly when the government says that their budget continues to be impacted by that situation. So someone was asking me about, they said that the trial, and I've not been watching this, but I might end up going to court today. I'll have to see I think I got a lunch date scheduled though, but someone was saying to me that the friends of this is what I just received. Good morning, Sandra. A few of my friends have sent messages about this Tortuga rum case. You might want to go check it out. They feel badly for Robbie's children. Check it out. It's going on today and all week. I hope you can check it out and that you're doing well. You are the best. Well, listen, I can't help but be honest with y'all. And I was honest with this person too. I said, is that a joke? Feel sorry for his children? Is that some kind of a joke? You trying to make me laugh or what? Say what? Listen to me. It's not the children that y'all should be feeling sorry for. And they said, oh, I gotta try and find that case again, y'all. Hold on. Let me see where I put that case here now. I actually have the will document. And I can tell you that it's not the children that y'all should be feeling sorry for, not at all. I might find this to be a little too cold and a little bit too hard. Now, the family put their business out there, honey child. So, I'm only going to report what I know. But as someone who has actually read the will myself, that man left almost every single thing for his children. I don't think that they should be going after Miss Charlene for the little bit that she has left. I'm sorry. Something not right here. And I believe it's called unadulterated greed. How much more could you possibly want? Let me see if I can find the will again, because I had a copy of it. I can't remember if I even saved it, but let me tell you something. The man gave them everything. Everything. If I was his wife of how many years it started Tortuga with him, and he had used my family recipe to get that business up and going, and you left them what you left them, and they're still trying to come and fight me, honey child, I would go dig him out of the grave and slap him at one rum cake. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm telling you, some of y'all need to reel in the greed, especially when you never really work for it. Because you're inviting people to get into your business when you really shouldn't be. Morning, caller.
Good morning, Sunday again. That is a touchy subject with Robbie Hamilton.
It's a touchy subject, but the man's will was very, very clear,
What the hell is wrong with he was playing with Kim anyways when he met Carlene.
Yes.
And that was a family recipe, the rum cake. He capitalized on that. And out of the goodness, I tell people, don't be good anymore. Be logical about things. And he capitalized on that, and she probably took him on face value and didn't think that he would do this to her. That is pathetic.
I'm gonna try and find the will here, because I tell you what, I think Mr. Robbie, and I don't know, there's some arguing about, he had another will and this and that, but listen, I think his survivors need to be fair in this situation, right? The man left 99.99% of what he had to his children. Every piece of land. I mean, I saw the will, like I said, with my own two eyes. It was very, very detailed. This watch, this ring, this grandchild got this. The only thing I see the poor wife get was the matrimonial home. Thank God they didn't take that from under her. And her interest in the company. So what they're fighting her for is the interest in the company. Somebody said Robbie did not protect her. Well, based on the will that I saw, he gave the kids everything else. I'm sure this man never imagined that they would want anything more. My God. It is just, I don't know.
His children don't deserve, they deserve something from him. And don't take away what Carlene.
Exactly. And people said to me that they even feel a different way about this, because she was really there raising, as in particular, the son. I think he's a Robbie Jr., but raising him like that was her own child.
Yes.
It's sad.
It is sad, you can put humans, they're not humans, they're humanoids. the thing about it is that, you think that they would get together as a family and say, listen, although our father left us the biggest percentage of his estate, we want you to feel fair to you. We would give you this amount more than what you got.
It's not even, Lord Jesus. I mean, honestly, it's not even that. It's just that let the man's will and his last will and testament remain as that. I mean, why are you quibbling over, oh, he meant to give us a little bit more? Really? Are y'all so sure about that?
I hope it no.
But I think that this is the lesson here, folks, is if you have more than one will, or you have updated your will, so to speak, you have got to be very, very careful that you destroy all previous wills. Because when you do not, this is exactly what ends up happening.
Sandy, a lot of people don't know this, but when my father died, or before my father died, my sister Heather Tatum, a lot of people know her. I wasn't even aware that Daddy had left me a piece of property in Kimmenbright, close to the what we call it there, the utility plant. And after that, and Heather took care of Daddy and Miss T, my stepmom, who was an angel. And she called me up after Daddy passed away, and she said, Dexter, that she was the executive of the state, whatever. She says, Daddy wants you to have this piece of property in Kimmenbright. I said, Heather, do not insult me. Tell me that Daddy wants me to have that when you deserve it more than me. And that's the same thing with my other sister from my stepfather's side. She didn't have no place in Kimmenbright. And my grandmother had left me with property there. I signed over everything to them. It's sad.
Well,
it makes me emotional.
It's unfortunate because I don't think that it's necessary. Like I said, I was trying to put my hand back on the will, but the man left. I mean, I read the will. This watch goes to Basil. This piece of land came around. I mean, the man obviously, in terms of finances, acquired a lot in his lifetime, and he literally left everything to those children. When I tell you everything, I only saw the wife mentioned like twice. He left a little $20,000 to one of the workers at Tortuga because she's been there almost from day one by his side. Another lady, he left her a little something. But 99% of everything was left to those children. And to imagine that is the case and you can still find something to fight over, I'm shocked. And I don't know who these friends are that feeling sorry for them, but listen, and I like his daughter. She seems like a nice enough person. I don't know her personally. But I would say that I am still very, very disappointed that they are sullying their father's legacy by fighting over death left, as Jamaican people would say. What are you fighting over dead left for? Blessed is the child that has his own. Your father has given you an amazing head start in life. They don't want some of them Tortuga workers to talk about why the poor father had to actually sell off a portion of the business and get people in Jamaica to buy into the business and blah, blah, blah. Because some of these same ones who fighting for it were the ones running it into the ground and almost made the business go bankrupt, allegedly. I'm just saying.
But Sandy,
trust me.
He would not have had what he has.
If it was not for Miss Charlene being there by his side, of course.
Her name is Carlene, I think.
Yeah.
And that is so disrespectful to her or any woman that any man would do that to, or a woman would do that to a man. Because it happens to women doing it to men as well. But it's so sad that she was the one that put him in the spotlight. But she probably trusted him
Mm.
She probably trusted him, and everything that he took, everything that he said, he put it in, and you know, it took him on face value.
Yeah.
And that is,
And someone's clarifying that her name is Carlene. Yeah, Miss Carlene.
yeah, her name is Carlene. I know him. I
But
know the family.
yeah. Anyway, it's unfortunate. It is just unfortunate.
My other Prime Minister must be out now.
Yes, honey child, you gone over 8 minutes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Come off the phone, honey child.
So this my apologies to you. I'm not too thick-skinned that I will not apologize to you, because I meant it to the other woman who was putting me down, but you know, I'm thick-skinned.
Thank you, my dear.
Anyway,
all right, let me try and find it here now. I gotta find it, because when this person messaged me this morning about what did it say? I think this is it. Hold on, Hannah.
Anyway, Sandy,
yes, Mr. Dexter, very good. The family feeling sorry for the kids. I mean, these friends feeling sorry for the kids, and can you, like they want me to do what? They want me to talk about why I should feel sorry for the kids, or why you guys should feel sorry for the kids. Let me tell y'all something. I cannot lie. And I cannot lie about how I feel about this situation. My heart hurts for Miss Carlene. See the will here? Yes, 23 pages. Sylvia Carlene Hamity, poor her. I mean, my God. Geez, some peace. I cannot even imagine. And the thing is, you never know with people. You think people are going to be up and up. This is why you got to make sure that you have your affairs in order. At least he had a will. Some of y'all dying and not even leaving a will. So let's look at the will here. This is a public document, so y'all don't be looking at me talking about how did Sandy get that document. I get it, like how I get anything else in this country. It's called research, right? So let me show you what he did, because I thought the will, all 23 pages of it, was actually pretty solid, and people can still find a way to fight over this. No, sir. Johan says, Auntie Sandy, please do not read the man's last will and testament live on air. Why? It's a public document. And there are people who are saying to me that I need to defend the children. No, y'all need to educate yourselves and understand exactly what this is all about. Don't defend foolishness if you don't have the facts. So yes, we're going to read it. Anybody can go read this. There's nothing secret about a last will and testament. These are public documents. Life policy for $100,000 US and 2 other policies. He names them all there. One for $500,000 US. One for another $200,000. So y'all add that together. 5 and 2 is 7, and 1 is $800,000. Okay. Who did he leave that to? So he left after, he says, to pay any balance remaining after the payment of my just debts and expenses, and the foregoing specific cash bequests to my wife, Carlene, my son Basil, and my daughter Monique in equal shares. So whatever's left over, they got that in equal shares. Then look at what he left his son. Gold watch, chain, radio, shotgun, all other items of personal jewelry that I may die possessed of. Not even his personal jewelry he left to his wife. What? I'm sorry, but if I got laid down by a man every single night, and I mean, yeah, she didn't birth these children, but help you raise your children, you better respect me in that last will and testament, honey child. Cars, boats, trailers, engine, all fishing gear, everything. The son got those. To the daughter, my diamond ring, my gold chain, Spanish coin, St. Christopher medal, 1.5 shares of land in Little Cayman, give you the block and parcel number. Lighthouse, with Lighthouse held jointly with my sister, Marina Drive property. Little Cayman blocking another Little Cayman piece of property. Grandson got an antique pocket watch. I don't know who Rose Maxwell is, but she got a sum of $5,000 to be paid within 12 months. Daughter Monique, 10% share in the restaurant known as Cafe Mediterraneo. That's no longer around, right? I think they closed down. 60% shares in the interest in the shares of Tortuga Rum Company Limited. So they want more than 60%. Y'all actually think this is right, though? No, man. Like I said, I don't know what friends, they feel sorry for them, but the friends better get their facts straight. I'll send them a copy of this if they want. Okay. Half share of the Midland Acres land. Frank Sound. Property and building in West Bay next to Turtle Farm. The daughter getting all of that. Property purchased from Regional Parsons on the waterfront, known as Chocolate Box. Red Gate property. Little Cayman property. Sunrise Landing property. Property in Jamaica. So, I mean, look at all that land grab. Grandchildren, they got a little bit of something, a little property in Little Cayman. Proceeds of sale of the vessel Spirit of Tortuga, jet ski. Okay, so they split that between the grandchildren. General manager at Tortuga, he gave her $25,000 US. Another person, Lisa Gao, got, he says, been a great help to Carlene and myself. She got $20,000. Poor Miss Maggie, I'm surprised that she only got $10,000. Because poor Miss Maggie be working her fingers to the bone. But anyway, I would have expected a little more than $10,000. But anywho, nephew, Brian got $10,000. Sisters get $25,000 each. Them poor sisters. They might not have been liked very much. All of the National Building Society certificates, deposits, again, going straight to the daughter and the son. So the wife not getting none of this. Financial interest in all these certificates. Boom, boom, boom. Certificate number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All these certificates. Children. And you still want more. Okay. Wow. So the wife got a little bit of the life insurance policy. I don't see nothing else here that the wife's supposed to be getting. I guess the matrimonial home, which by law, I guess they can't touch that. And then she must have had the remaining 40 shares in the company. And they're not happy with that. They want more. Wow. No, sir. I mean, the man was very, very clear. Anyhow, they're not happy with this one. They say there's another will that gives them even more in the company, and that's what they want. So basically, they're trying to ice out the mother-in-law and give her nothing. Hear me, mother-in-law. His wife and their stepmother. I couldn't. I had no intention of talking about this morning, but when I saw that message, I'm like, say what? Y'all are feeling sorry for who? Don't be misguided, Cayman and people. It is very, very important that you do a little something called research. Shaka Zulu says, please emphasize the word research it once again for the populace, Sandy, please. These things are a matter of public record, Johan. So, when you don't, and listen, we wouldn't be talking about this if the children didn't decide to sue the estate. I'm just saying. This becomes a matter of public. It's a trial. The trial is public. I'll go by there and have a look and see what foolishness they're going on with. But if there was such a thing as a person who's deceased rolling in the grave, I can tell you that this man is rolling in his grave here today. Cameron says, is my name anywhere there? Cameron, no. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Sandy.
Morning, my dear.
Sad state of affairs.
Sorry, say that again.
Sad
state
of affairs.
Very, 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 very.
Just goes prove and show what greed really is.
Mm-hmm.
I've known Miss Carlene for years, as I did Mr. Hamity.
Mm-hmm.
I know that woman worked.
Yeah. Oh, that business would not have been what it was. Trust me.
And did not her rum cake? I mean, the rum cake come from her side of the family.
That's right. The original recipe sure did.
It sure did.
Mm-hmm. And it was probably her business idea too.
This is how his children are repaying her.
Yeah, it's disrespectful on a totally different level.
I have to say, I look at this whole business in a different light now. It's truly sad. That's all I can say. That in depth, it just goes to show the true colors of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really, really sorry to see this happening and taking place for all public to see, know, and hear.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy,
yeah,
keep the faith, keep your chin up, keep going, keep being kind, loving, and keep speaking the truth.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it.
Take care.
All righty. So yeah, it becomes a question of what more could you possibly want after getting all of that? Wow. You know, there's a saying that sometimes the more you have, the more you want. And when somebody else, I mean, my philosophy has always been, I didn't come with any kind of silver spoon in my mouth. My parents don't have any millions of dollars in life insurance and this and that to be leaving me. But if you even get $1, you just say thank you and be grateful for it. Like I said last week, nobody owes you anything in life, not even your parents. They gave you life and that's it, right? Some of them gave you themselves being good parents. And gosh, if they did that, you have to be thankful. And I think there must be nothing worse in this world. I only have the one daughter. And sometimes I think to myself, what if she grows up to be an ungrateful person? I mean, I sure hope that doesn't happen, but you never know, right? Some of these children feeling entitled. You understand what I'm saying? You work hard and gonna leave them a business, leave them property and all this kind of stuff. And they are going to just, unbelievable, sully your legacy. That's exactly what they're doing. That's all this fight is all about. Money. How much is enough? I mean, I do have to wonder, and, parents can only do so much with kids, but sometimes we're the ones who are contributing to the way that our children even see money, and they see us as a money bag. You get out there and get your own job, son. Make your own money. Work on your own. Know what it is to have to struggle in life. Be very, very careful if you have a certain type of, financial lifestyle, if you've got a business, and how you raise your children to think, oh, they're going to just inherit this. You better get out there and work, child. Work for your own. And sometimes you don't want them working in your business because you're not going to treat them the same. You're not going to give them the hard knocks that they should be getting. They're going to be getting cuddled and everybody's like, oh, well, that's Miss Sandy's daughter, so we got to treat her a certain way. Nope. Get out there, go flip burgers at Burger King. Right? I had to do whatever to work. You can do it too. Because when it comes too easy, you see the ungratefulness. Oh, I feel sorry for somebody, all right, but it's not his children. I feel sorry for poor Miss Carlene, and my prayers are going out to her that this is the sort of stressful situation that doesn't end up, taking a toll on her health. No, honey child, I am not feeling it one bit. This person says the daughter is a big PPM supporter. Okay. She was sending her freshmen to their meetings. Remember, they gave her status. Oh, yes. Seems she lives in Prospect and is a big Sir Alden supporter. He's not rolling in no grave, but he did not protect the woman who made him or looked after him. I boycotted Tortuga the day they sued Miss Carlene. Another person says that Carlene worked with him from day one by his side. It's 100%. This is Monique. She is greedy. She's a greedy bee. And you fill in the blank. Just like her mother. Oh, Lord. Poor Carlene, who worked her fingers to the bone. Wow. This has got to really, really hurt. This person says, again, imported expletive. Good morning, Sandy. Daughter couldn't get Caymanian status, but McKeeva gave her it in cabinet. They came here to rob Miss Carlene's eyeballs out of her head, honey child. Someone should go dig him up and take the remains to the courthouse and give him to the nasty children. Oh, Jesus. Someone says everybody liked Robbie Hamilton when he arrived here. Apart from his pilot's license, he didn't have a pot to piss in. Carlene had her little cake business going, and he saw the possibilities and grabbed the opportunity. Yes, they worked together, but the business brains, as far as Tortuga was concerned, was Carlene. And these are people who would know, honey child. Property and wills bring out people's true colors. This person says, you're too funny. No, sir, I given my children something, but oh Lord, I can't leave the wife out. This could be tactic to stress her out and kill her. Tortuga is a Caymanian product. Let the family deal with it. What does that mean? They're dealing with it in court, and so it becomes a public matter. They said that the original cake recipe, another person says the original cake recipe came from Miss Carlene's mom. And yes, she got her status through the PPM. Y'all got to show some respect around here. This person says then she needs to fight fire with fire then and counter that challenge in the will in its entirety as his wife from the business was built from inception. Poor Miss Carlene. Oh my God. My Lord have mercy. What a mess. It's such a sad situation. Another person says the Tortuga Realm Empire. Here we go again. Damn demons. I can't feel sorry for Carlene, another silly Caymanian that fell prey to these demons. Why wouldn't you feel sorry for her? Anyway, anybody wants a copy of the will, I'm happy to share it. Like I said, it's a public document, so there's nothing hidden or secret in a public document. It is what it is. Some lessons to be learned from this for sure. Listen, you can't trust your spouses when it comes to protecting your children. I've seen so many of these elderly seamen now with children and stuff. They're letting Gene come into the home and take over everything, and they're icing out the children out of their inheritance. That if the wives were still alive, the wives would be like, what on earth? I mean, you just got to be so careful. Speak to a lawyer, folks. Get good advice about how to really handle your affairs. But I know from when I did wills and probate, when I was doing the PPC at law school, you never leave old wills laying around that can be disputed. You destroy them. There should only be one final will and testament. If you have to update it and you replace it, right? Don't leave these other wills. Can I be like, oh, well, that will came before this one, and no, this is what they really wanted. Handle your business. You're supposed to have a good head on your shoulders, claim that you're running a business. You got lawyers that are signing your documents and that sort of thing. Make sure they are checking and cross-checking and cross-referencing. So it's the two children suing all of the other defendants listed are 4 people. They're all the executors of the will. So Miss Sylvia Carlene Hamity, that's Miss Carlene, his wife. There's Frederick Clive Hamity, I believe that's the brother. There's Neil Hamity, which is the nephew, and Miss Delrose Williams, who worked in the business and has been, I guess a pivotal part of the business as well. So those poor people who don't want nothing to do with all this mix up are now caught up in being sued in this as well. and they probably have had to hire lawyers and show up to court. And, so when someone lists you as an executor, this is what happens when they decide to challenge the will. You get mixed up in the whole thing as well. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hello, dear. How are you?
How are I'm good. How are you?
Good. Ugh, what a hot
I'm
mess.
sorry. Yes, it certainly is. And it's also sad.
Very.
I'm not going to make a comment, as to either side of this matter, but just to say that, I heard you say to someone something about not leaving wills around, old wills around. What I would say before that is that maybe everybody should get familiar with the revised family law, that section of the law. And also regarding wills, you could have 10 wills. But as you know, you just said about doing your PPC and wills and probates. It's a reason why a will starts out saying, my last
will and testament. Yes.
Because the last one supersedes all. So they can have 1 million copies, but it's the last one that is going to be recognized. So you can bring the other 100 and challenge that one. And if the courts understand it, which I'm sure they do, the last one stands.
Yes.
And also, as far as the business, the brand, if I were a judge in that matter, that would be easier for me, because that is very similar to music and copyrighting music. That was Colleen's brand. And as long as she can prove that it was her mom's recipe, and I've seen videos on that and pictures on that, where she was in her mother's kitchen, her friends were there helping her bake cakes, so even if it's not in writing, according to the law, as long as she can prove it was hers first, that's her brand. So that's like copyright protection for her. So I don't know what the details of the fight is, and that's not my business.
Yes.
But I'm just saying.
I think the issue is at the time that this business would have been set up, we didn't even have any copyright laws in place at all. Copyright is a sort of a new concept in Cayman, just a couple years old, in fact.
Not really, not really. People may not have been aware of it, but it's always been around. Because even in music, if you cannot afford to pay the registration to copyright your music, what you can do is what they call the poor man copyright. You can actually write like a letter to yourself and do it by registered mail, that it is mail and it comes back to you. And that becomes your record of ownership to either the song, the music, whatever it is. That's how it's done in the music industry. And it, like I say, it's been around forever. People may not know about it, but it was.
Yeah. Well, I know that the premier, when he was in last time, is when they put the legislation in place. So I don't know at the common law level what could be done, but I know that they were running into difficulties where they said there was, even with music, there was no real protection in Cayman because that legislation didn't exist to give it the protection it needed.
I can tell you that it did, because I don't know if you remember this man, Mr. Ken Davis, people like that, Mr. Howell, the old musicians. When those people wrote songs, like I said, that's how they did it. I think it's called the Poor Man Protection, Poor Man Copyright, something like that, because the head office for registering the copyrights is in England, and that's the way it's done now. But before that, this is the way it was done, so that they had proof that it was theirs. And some of them may have done it now, in the what would you say, in recent times, the way that it's now being done. But you can still do it under the, I'm not sure if I'm getting the terminology right, but under the, I'm going to say the old-fashioned way. And it is still recognized. I happen to know musicians who have done that. And that's why their music is protected and they get their royalties. So I imagine that any judge here in this case would probably apply that same concept to it. to the recipe, the ownership of the recipe. And even with copyrights, I'll give you a quick example. Say you and I had similar companies, and I had called my company Kim and Mar Road, right? But I never registered that and got copyrights. And you came later on, you used the same name, and you registered the company. Now you see, I can object to that because I had it first, even though I don't have it copywritten. And when we get into the legal tangles, the first question I am going to be asked, can you prove that you had the name before her? And if I got a witness or 10 witnesses who can step forward and say, yeah, she's been using this name from whatever year, this person just started using it, then it's mine. It's not yours. You'll have to stop, and further, any money that you have made from that name, I can also sue you for it and claim it. And in the end of this, it's a civil matter. So I hope everyone is considering that whoever loses this case will also have to pay the other person's legal fees. Because damages will be awarded. And like I said, this is very sad. We don't like hearing things like this, but let us hope that, at the end, there's a good outcome and that, justice will prevail. That's all I'll say there.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, some people are saying, good morning, Alice, joining us from Hallandale, Florida. Strong Will says, hey, Sandy, there was a 75-year-old lady in Jamaica who killed her husband last week because he didn't put her in the will. People have said that she also had mental health issues. So I'm not sure what really set her off, but that was the storyline anyway, because we carried that as well. Ogier says parents need to get to hear more information like this to do better at parenting. Totally agree with you, Sandy. Go get a job. Sometimes we do a disservice to our own children by handing them everything on a silver platter. Quite unfortunate. Good morning, caller. Okay, you need to call 936-2626. Yeah, that's the number. That's the number. Yeah. 936-2626. Okay, there. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. So again, folks, the show number, that was my personal number. You can reach me after the show on that number, but show number 936-2626. So Sandy is reminding herself of that article as well. If you had rum cake and rum punch on board Cayman Airways before, that should be enough. Shaka Zulu says that poor man's copyright is upheld. We're here in the States as well for IP. Yeah, I think music is a little bit different when it comes to company names and stuff like that. They don't quite fall under the same. In fact, I've always wondered when I moved to Cayman, I see names that are so similar. And I thought to myself, how does back then it was the Trade and Business Licensing Board, I think it's what it was called. And I'm like, how do they approve such similar names? And it was because there was nothing stopping someone from having almost identical name as you. There was no copyright protection in place at all. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yes, Miss Sandy. I'm not calling on the topics of today.
Yes.
I just want to, me and my family, and I know many more, is so appreciative of what you're doing. And I want everybody out there to hear me. Whenever they're for nominating, you should get an award.
Oh, geez.
Because without you, Cayman would have no news, good nor bad.
I appreciate that.
Yes, I appreciate everything that you do for the people. And like I said, without you, we wouldn't have no news at all.
I appreciate it. Like I said, I don't make up the news. I just report it.
No,
and there's definitely a lot happening.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
And some people think some topics are taboo. And I said, why is this taboo? If it's happening in our community, I think people need to know and people need to educate themselves.
Correct.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate
Okay,
that.
have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too.
Okay.
Thanks so
Okay,
much.
keep up the good work.
I
Okay,
appreciate
bye-bye.
that. Thank you. So I see Johan is in his feelings and he's saying this isn't our business. Well, Johan, how is it any different from anything else that's in court? That's my first question. You want to think that certain things that happen in court, which is public and open for 99% of the cases in court, you can go and sit down and listen to, including civil matters. You think that that's private because of what? It isn't. The only thing that tends to get privacy is stuff relating to children, juvenile court. You have to be careful reporting on those. And then family matters. And it's only certain family matters, as you can see, if a judgment comes out about a divorce, and we've written on several, none of that is private. Remember the guy, the Jamaican fella who was claiming that his wife defrauded him and he wanted to get a divorce on the basis of fraud? Well, we reported that. There's nothing private about something like that. Now, Chief Justice Margaret Ramsey Hale wrote an entire judgment on that back in 2020. He had his application dismissed. And she talked about fraud and what is required in the situation of fraud and what has to be proven. These are legal principles. So if you think that this case will not be, the lawyers are there this week trying to earn every dollar that they're going to be paying or getting paid, this will be a judgment that we will all be able to get to sit down and see. This will be a reported judgment. And the courts will name the parties. Right? And that's just how it works. So there was one filing in August of 2021, and that was followed up with another court filing in September of 2021. And the thing is, the children themselves, this is one thing I want to clarify for the sake of being factually accurate. The children are also named as executors of the will, although they're beneficiaries, and they're the ones who went and submitted the probate documents with that particular will. So at first, there was no argument amongst them with any of this. It was later on, after the filing of the will. And in fact, let me tell you what the date is so that you can get an idea of how much time would have passed between the two. And I guess people started thinking, oh, well, this isn't enough now. We got to get even more. So they went through the probate process and they did this probate document back in, let me see here now. What's the date on this? Back in December of 2020. And by August of 2021, they're challenging the very document that they signed off on. Listen, Johan, people live in this community. And they live in this community based on certain reputations, right? They talk about, oh, they're upstanding people in the community, they're business people, they're this, they're that. When you engage in behavior in court or otherwise, that it's like, hold on a second, are you really an upstanding business person? December the 9th, 2020, see all their signatures right here? There's Monique, there's Basil, there's Frederick Clive Hamady, there's Miss Carlene. Executors of the will, they filed this document in court, right? These are all public documents. There's no secret about this. Application for grant of probate of a will. So these people accepted that that was his final will and testament. And then later on, they're going to come back and say, oh, August of the following year, they've changed their minds? Huh? Really? That's how this gets to work? You were of one mind after the death, and then you turn around and change your mind into the following year. Like, oh no, that can't be the correct will. So to be quite honest, Johan, I don't care if you are offended by the fact that we're looking at somebody's last will and testament. We can look at all of them if you want, because once again, they're all a matter of public document. The difference is most of them don't become part of public fodder because of the fact that no one is challenging it. This person says Johan is a true politician. Don't read a public document all because of who they are. Well, like I said, the truth might be an offense to some of you, but it certainly is not a crime. That's for sure. Too bad. Catherine, good morning. Says, my God, she is the best. Inspiring, says Sandy for MP. No, thank you. Like I told my neighbor yesterday, he's like, please, can you run? We need representation in this area. And I said, sir, with all due respect, I will continue to do things for my neighbors and the neighborhood because we all have to live here. But that does not mean that I want to be your political representative or that I even should be. Yeah. Catherine says she needs a big award. And trust me, award, I don't do any of this for any award or recognition. It's just the truth. Why do y'all get so insulted by the truth? Are we not all subject to the same universal laws of what is fair, what is just, what is legal? The same law that protects me, right, in speaking the truth should protect you and your right to speak the truth. And public documents, the court goes to great length to make these documents available to the people of this country if you care to read them. All of these judgments, I see yesterday they sent out a list with all the judgments recently. And I like to go through and I read them, not just for reporting purposes, but sometimes it's good to understand why the courts have come to a particular decision. Here's one with under the Children's Act, the role of a guardian ad litem in private law children proceedings. That's an important decision, right? Here's another one in the matter of Global Cord Blood Corporation, the reason for the decisions. Jurisdiction to set aside or vary a judgment before the order. Here's the Central Planning Authority. Well, this one we covered already, versus the National Conservation Council. That's a matter of national importance. But sometimes these other cases are cases that you want to read and educate yourself about. And they're issues of importance too. You all need to really stop being so dodgy with how you feel about certain things. I mean, I don't know. Oh, John Patrick Bodden is suing British Airways. Now that might be an interesting case. I can read that one later. Oh, I need to point out to the court's office, they got a mistake in their list. It says filed opened in error as the title. They might want to fix that. Sheldon Scott versus Lisa Scott, divorce application. Who the hell is Sheldon Scott? And they even show you divorce applications. Misha Christian, Nee Scott versus Carrie Christian. All right, those two getting a divorce. Vision Marketing versus Cayman Islands Helicopters. Ooh, what's this one about? Renee, make sure you read this case, honey child. This one looks interesting. Vision Marketing. What are they suing these people for? Probably money. That's probably what that is. Let's see. Sometimes these cases don't want to open up. I think there's a little glitch in the system here. But anyway, yes, this is what happens, honey child. This is it. Here's another one. Application for letters of administration. Miss Camille Rosetta Johnson passed away now. That's how it works. Everything's here. Educating yourself, I think, is so important. Understanding how processes work, so important. You shouldn't feel a way about looking at court cases like, oh my God, I don't want to know. Well, they say ignorance is bliss, but really it's not. What you don't know can actually hurt you. So I appreciate the person reaching out this morning about this. This is how it became topical because I saw it on the court list and I had no intentions actually about speaking about it until the final judgment is in. But when the person said, oh, Sandy, you should be feeling sympathetic for the kids, I had to say, hold on, honey chill. Pump the brakes on that idea. Sympathetic to who and what and where and who? No, honey chill. I don't think so. Because we've reported on this and I know the facts. And it was so interesting when we first reported on it. There were family members, children of Miss Hamady and her husband reaching out like, oh, why are you reporting on it? This is our personal family business. I said, no, it's not, honey child. I'm not sure why at 16 or 17 you're even messaging me, but I'm going to school you in the law. When you have filed a lawsuit, right, and you are suing someone, it is no longer your personal business. That is a matter of public record. Remember that. Good morning, Carrie Ann. Debbie says Sandy's award long overdue. Child, as my aunt used to say, I'm going to get my award in heaven. My Aunt Lottie always said, oh, my award will come with the angels, honey child. Ms. Brenda says under the category of journalism. Listen, we're not as fortunate as, back in the day, the Compass had Miss Carol Winker, and she would sit there and cover all kind of cases, mostly criminal stuff. But she was very, very good. They even have a little chair in her memory in the courtroom. I always feel away. Like when I go in the courtroom, I don't sit in the chair because it's like, you're not even worthy. But they have a little Miss Carol chair there because the court recognized the amazing job that she did. Sometimes they themselves, especially in summary court, did not have a proper record of what transpired. And they would go back to Miss Carol and her notes and her articles because she was very, very detailed. And, that's what journalists do. Now, I think Andrell, for the most part, there's another young lady there recently. I don't know who she is, but, he covers a lot of stuff, but I think he was on vacation or something. And, they have a lot of staff, so they can send different people. Cameron says Sandy is good for getting people in their feelings. I don't know why y'all get in your feelings, to be honest. It's very, very straightforward. Is he one of those friends that are cloaking them with the lawsuit? Why is he up in his feelings about a public matter? Just wondering. Who, Johan? I don't know. Y'all gonna have to ask Johan to explain himself because I don't understand it. Catherine says greed. I mean, when you read the will, like I said, it's a free document for y'all to read, then by all means, it is what it is. Miss Gabby says they're so ungrateful for sure. This is why we appreciate you because you do speak the truth. Thank you, Catherine. Cameron says we're stuck with John and Chris. I saw also, who was that said, oh, they've had a family, their parents have died. And so they feel insulted by this. Why would you feel insulted by it? Even death certificates in most jurisdictions are a matter of public record. Y'all do know that, right? Oh, Blair says, I'm listening to this and I'm in shock that you're reading their personal will. How is it a personal will? You have to put it in probate and it becomes a public document. If the court intended it to not be a public document, I would not be able to see it. So I'm not so sure what the issue is, but anyway, he says, coming from somebody who lost both of their parents, like literally this is wrong on so many levels. On what levels, Blair? It is what it is. If your parents died in this jurisdiction, their will and last testament, if you had to file probate, is online as well. Now, in most instances, most people don't care. And we wouldn't just be randomly reading it for no reason. I mean, I read them just like, oh, this is interesting. But it's not something we would report on. It's not something that's of a public interest, except when the family members decide to sue based on the will. Then that becomes very much a public interest story. Somebody said Tortuga is like, it's our number one exported item in the Cayman Islands, the Tortuga rum cakes. You don't think that this is a story of public interest? The people in this community who know Miss Carlene, know the Hamady family. You can't file these kind of documents and then try and hide talking about this a public matter. This person says it's a public document and the children made it public. So now if it's being read in public, why is anyone getting offended? Shaking my head. This other person says Johan would make a good MP because of his duplicitousness. Oh, Lord Jesus. Ay, ay, ay. This person says, in marriage, we all pledge or swear to forsake all others and cling to your wife or husband. Suckered, go home. Well, we'll see. Somebody even sent me a screenshot from the Tortuga website under history where it acknowledges, I mean, I've always heard the story about Miss Carlene. Like I said, I don't personally know her, but I've always heard that it was a family recipe because that was part of the Tortuga story that really made this so incredibly endearing. So thanks to this individual who points out that even now it's on the website. Carlene also had a generations old recipe for rum cake, which wasn't part of the original Tortuga business plan. You see that? And boy, did that really take off. So no one can argue sensibly about the contribution that Miss Carlene made to that business. I mean, there are people who would tell you if it wasn't for her, there'd probably be no Tortuga. Mm-hmm. Well, it is what it is. Someone says even Little Richie, this is about the copyright issue, didn't own most of the music because of contractual agreements. That's another error. Not all damages awarded by the judge. That's US law. UK law operates differently. And there's some confusion here. The music industry operates differently. All right. So this person says, good morning. How the hell these people all up in their feelings and so flipping thin skin? Everything bothers them. Boo-hoo. The sun is covered by clouds today. I'm so sad. For Christ's sake, WTF. What do you say? The sun is covered by clouds today? Okay. Oh, that's... Another person says Carlene worked with him from day one. Oh, yes, I think I read that already. And then somebody said, oh, that Miss, yes, I didn't actually realize this, but Miss, oh gosh, what's her name again? Is actually her aunt. Miss, oh, good grief, hold on now. Oh, I saw the message come in that said, who said that to me? Somebody said that Miss Delrose is Carlene's aunt, and she was very involved in the business and helped to make it a success. Yes. Yes. I think I might have heard that before. So, you know, Miss Carlene, honey child, we're praying for you. We really, really are. And like I said, you know, when you open Pandora's box, and these types of things come out, those who are familiar with the Tortuga story will also know that not that long ago, Mr. Hamity had to sell aspects of the business. That's why in Jamaica, now they're manufacturing rum cakes. That was never the case before. And when you talk to people who were in Tortuga, they will tell you Mr. Hamity had to share himself that his company almost went bankrupt because of some, allegedly we'll say, but that came out of his own mouth. Some of the same people suing in this will, where they're running the company and making poor decisions that cost the business. And they were on the brink of bankruptcy. And that allegedly is why he had to sell off part of the company to Jamaica. Who owns it now? The name of that company? Anyway, you can go and look it up online and see how the company was actually split. And they retained a small part of it. That explains that whole acquisition and purchase and why they're no longer the majority shareholders in that aspect of the company. So, I mean, you know, y'all don't want Miss Carlene to be talking too much now. And all this stuff will come out in court. If I go and sit down in court right now, they're probably sharing all this kind of stuff. And that's a matter of public records. I can sit there and take notes and report on every bit of it. So be careful. Because y'all have seen on this program before, when you open Pandora's box, what happened? You can't close it back. This person says, yes, Miss Carlene, they opened Pandora's box. Now shake it out and take it all back for their greed. Mm-hmm. A hot mess. Anyway, let's move on. Ms. Moya says, I wear it was Caymanians who made the term. I swear it was Caymanians who made the term, the truth is hard to swallow, because nothing offends a Caymanian like the truth, and you're pointing it out. Well, hallelujah, chill. Caymanians are happy to hear the truth when it's about somebody else, not one of their friends or somebody that they like. This is why I always say it's so interesting when somebody's likable. What you're willing to defend them on is absolutely ridiculous. Now, if it's not somebody you like, oh yeah, we're gonna speak the truth on her, honey child. Let's call her out. But when it's somebody you like, boy, why are we talking about this? Sandy, that's their personal business. I go out having drinks with them. They're my friends. I don't give two cahoots. Cameron says if Sandy and Elvis were in Parliament, there wouldn't be any popcorn left in Cayman. Lord. Miss Brenda says the last will and testament are powerful words and very much upheld in the courts. It's rarely overturned. It's usually only done in cases where fraud is proven. And you know what, Miss Brenda, I think I'm curious to see what the judgment ultimately will be in this case, because to challenge a will in any event that you originally signed off on, I think is going to present some kind of problems to the court. They're going to be like, why? From December to August of the following year, what is that? 10 months? Oh, no, not 10 months. December, and then basically 8 months. What happened? You had to change your heart? You can't just wake up one morning and be like, oh, well, I don't like this will anymore. What legally changed? They're saying in their document that they discovered that there was another will? John LaRue says, where are you able to view these lawsuits? Honey child, it's called judicial.ky. And then you just simply click on the registry. And thanks, big shout out to Madam Margaret Ramsey Hale, because you pay for access to the registry. And now she's actually opened it up, because before we had to pay for access to the registry. And then we also had to pay every time to access a specific document, whatever. She's made the document access part of it free. So she's doing a lot over there in terms of open access, open records. Again, the court is not meant to be something that is mystical and hidden from people. Every document, every lawsuit is on the website. It gets filed. So I can see every time, see a proven bank just filed documents on the 12th. What today is the 13th? That was yesterday. They're taking somebody named Raquel Brown to court. And I can click on it and I can open it and see what it says over here. The plaintiff is, and in all material times, the Class A bank, blah, blah, blah. That's the standard wording for these banks. Pursuant to a credit facility letter dated September 2nd of 2021 and promissory note dated the 3rd of September 2021, the loan agreement, the plaintiff agreed to advance to the defendant the principal sum of $35,788. Interest rate of 12%. 12%? What the? Oh, this must be a car loan. Because I think that's what y'all paying such ridiculous pricing on, right? Car loans, 12%. And then they were going to repay it in monthly installments over 84 months. Yeah, that sounds like a car loan, right? 84 months is how many years? 84 divided by 12. That's 7 years. So that's definitely a car loan. It doesn't specify what the loan was for, but after a while of seeing enough of these documents, you can figure it out. So that's a 7-year car loan. Bought a car for $35,000. Ooh, honey child, y'all know at 12% interest how much that car is actually going to cost you? Pretty penny, honey child. So anywho, they were supposed to pay it back in monthly installments over 84 months. Here we are a year later, and the bank is taking them back for their money. They said in breach of the loan agreement, the defendant failed to pay the monthly installments as and when due. Accordingly, the plaintiff, by its attorneys, personally served a formal demand letter on the defendant on the 29th of June, 2022, demanding payment of the arrears together with legal fees. In default of payment of these sums within 7 days of the date of service, the demand letter made further demand for all monies due under the loan agreement. So it sounds like there was an arrears amount. They didn't pay that. And so now the bank wants their full money back. Now, here's the most interesting thing. And this is, Finance 101, Life Lesson 101. We all love to criticize these banks, and yet we up in their bum hole every minute, borrowing money from them. You know what? This is how I see it, honestly, right? If I'm at your mercy and I have to come to you and I have to beg money from you, and I agree to whatever the terms are, I better do my best to bend over backwards to make sure you get your money back. It's as simple as that. And the bank is no different. Why is the bank any different? Right? So when you talk about car loans and interest, you know how we talked about the importance of paying off mortgages sooner rather than later, throwing extra payments on a mortgage? One of the loans that you should try to throw extra payments on for sure is a car payment, right? Let me tell you what happens when you don't. So this person, I don't know who the heck Jacqueline Brown is, but she was paying, it looks like at some point, maybe early 2022, she started to get herself in trouble. How much do you think she owes the bank? Hear this joke. Good morning, caller. Hello? Caller? Well, if you call, you got to say hello. So the bank is now saying that she is indebted to them. This is a year later, but she's not paying in June, so shy of a year. $36,767.39 under the loan agreement. So, my God, interest of $2,093.96. She didn't bring this loan down at all. She only borrowed $35,788, and right now she's on the hook for more than she borrowed. When you're paying 12% interest and you have a 7-year loan on a depreciating asset, because y'all know I love me a nice car, honey child, but they are a depreciating asset. The second you drive that off the lot, that loses what, 10, 15, 20%? Boom. That's it. And you have a 7-year loan on it. You know what that means? You're paying good money every month. And I get it. We all have to go to the bank to borrow money to get a little car, but sometimes you got to be sensible. I hope it's not one of them Shangang vehicles she went and bought, honey child. Because now she's on the hook for a loan and a car probably not even running too hot. Yeah? So now she actually owes the bank more money than she borrowed. Every time you get a little car loan and say it's $550 a month over 7 years. I mean, I'd have to do the math to figure out what this one really was, but just say, as an example, if you can put $800 on it, $900, even $1,000, that little extra will go towards the principal. You tell them, make sure you put that on the principal amount. Same thing with your mortgage. Throw anything extra on it, folks, to help bring that down quickly. What a hot mess. Anyway, that's proven bank filed them documents yesterday. And every single time the bank takes people to court for money, right? They want their money and they're going to take you. Listen, you don't play with these banks now. They don't care whether car, house, well, you can't really loan them to children, but it is what it is. I can't listen. They're in the business of loaning money, so I can't blame them. I want to see what John Patrick Bodden is suing British Airways for. This looks like an interesting case. Oh, he was taking a vacation to Italy. Oh my God, this is 57 pages? Lord Jesus, take the wheel. 57 pages? All right, let me send this to Renee. Renee, you can read this, honey child, and report on this one because I don't know. 57 pages, we not got that kind of time this morning. Let's move on. All right. Catherine says, yes, it's a public document. Miss Sue, good morning. She said, this is very sad. What they're doing is so wrong. You can feel that it's wrong from the perspective of morality. And then you can feel, like myself, that it is legally wrong. But ultimately, the courts will decide. And we will let you guys know what the courts say. It's sad that you're going to spend all this money fighting someone to have greater ownership in the company. Miss Carlene should have gotten 100% of that business, if you ask me. I'm just saying. I don't know about any, like I said, even when you're pumping them out yourself, these children not coming to get my hard-earned, especially if that spouse has been there and they're really the reason why you even have a business. You better think straight when you put that will together. Kimanian Problem says skeletons are in the closet. That's why they feel away. They need to be schooled on the law. Well, the law doesn't really cloak up too much foolishness. I mean, thank God for that. Ms. Moya says, yes, it's a court case and the documents are available to the public. Ms. Brenda says it's only private if the matter is heard in chambers. Tortuga is not a little piam business, says Cameron. Ay, what a hot mess. Ms. Dean says, I always read some wills in the newspaper. Oh, which newspaper is that? I know that I came on, but which newspaper is that? Catherine says, why is my account suspended? But Catherine, for an hour, but how are you able to comment if it's suspended? That's like so weird. I don't know. That's bizarre. It says it's restricted for 1 hour. I wonder, have you not been on Facebook for a while? Like maybe Facebook is so weird. Maybe things that you're, I don't know, a scam, but you're still able to comment. Like that's the weird part. I don't get that. That's too weird. Anywho, Mr. Leroy, it's funny how y'all, Lopez says, Liz Millie says, it's funny how y'all think y'all know the full story, but don't. Well, we know what's in the documents. So, I mean, if there's any fuller story, the parties can, in court, present whatever it is that they think that their story is. And that's the beauty of court. The documents don't always tell you everything, right? So what we know from the lawsuit, and we can certainly go back to that, is that this is what the lawsuit says, that the plaintiffs, together with the first defendant and the second defendant, were on the 20th of January, 2021, granted probate of the purported last will and testament of the deceased dated the 5th of June, 2009, the 2009 will. The plaintiffs, together with the first and second defendant, the third defendant, and the fourth defendant, are named as the executors of the estate. So we know that. And it goes on to talk about the deceased also executed a codicil on the 20th of April, 2020 to the 2019 will. Now, this is a little bit confusing here because what they say is that there was a last will and testament dated the 24th of March, 2019. So you see where I talk about there's actually competing wills here, and that should never be the case. There can only be legally one last will and testament. Okay. So they say that the plaintiffs are both named as beneficiaries under the 2019 will and the 2019 will. And so they're ordering that the probate of the 2009 will granted to the plaintiffs, the first defendants and the second defendants, be revoked, and the court pronounces for the force and validity of the 2019 will and 2020 codicil, there be such order as to costs and other things. So they're saying that they probated a 2009 will and that there was a 2019 will in existence, right? And they want the court now to set aside the probate and validity of that first will of 2009 for the validity of the 2019 will and the 2020 codicil. Well, because it hasn't gone into probate yet, we won't get to see that will until or if the court agrees with the requests of the parties. So that's what they're arguing. So why would Mr. Hamilton have a will from 2009 and one from 2019? The thing about it that I find very, very peculiar is when his children, who is they're executors, right? When they were filing the 2009 will, You mean to tell me you don't know if your father did a will between 2009 and 2019? That's a lot of time. And so you didn't know that there was another will and a codicil? Like the whole thing is very, very bizarre. And it'll be interesting to see exactly what comes out in court. But it leaves a very bitter taste in everybody's mouth. All right, straight up 9:30. Let's take a commercial break. And then we're going to come back and switch the topic here and talk about these teen girls who are getting pregnant for these hardback men and why some of y'all apparently think that that's A-okay. Lord Jesus.
Pasko sa panahon ng tag-init? Oo, eto na naman ang panahon ng Balikbayan Box. Kumuha ng inyong mga kahon sa halagang 75 bucks at punuin ito ng lahat ng iyong mga kalakal na papunta sa Pilipinas. Napakadali lang, kumuha ng inyong kahon, punuin ang inyong kahon at ibalik sa MBI. Ang Miracle Brokers ang bahala sa iba. Ang mga kahon ay darating sa tamang panahon para sa Pasko. Huwag mag-atubiling magmadali. Ang huling araw ay sa September 30. Tumawag sa 949-989 or 814-244 para sa karagdagang impormasyon.
Friends, Caymanians, Whopper fans, I do declare that this king is angry. The Angry Whopper is back after 4 years. Flame grilled quarter pounder topped with melted pepper jack cheese, hot angry sauce, crispy angry onions, iceberg lettuce, jalapenos, and tomato. But that is not all. You can now get angry everything. Angry chicken, angry fish, even angry breakfast. Ask for angry at Burger King and we'll add pepper jack cheese, angry sauce, angry onions, and jalapenos to any sandwich. Angry everything is here for a limited time only and only at Burger King.
I'm Kenneth Bryan, Minister for Tourism and Ports, and I need your help to keep our beautiful islands clean. Littering is unsightly and negatively impacts our tourism industry, which is crucial to our economy. Keeping our islands clean is everyone's responsibility, so let's all work together to keep the Cayman Islands beautiful for generations to come.
Be a part of the solution, not the pollution. Littering is a crime punishable by a $500 fine or 6 months in prison. Brought to you by the Beautification Task Force and Ministry of Tourism and Ports.
Ocean Ridge Heights offers an amazing opportunity to own a piece of land in idyllic Cayman Brac, right on the bluff, starting from $80,000. Located in a quiet residential area with high elevation, these lots are ideal for a future home or investment property and are sure to go fast. Cayman Brac offers a laid-back lifestyle, amazing pristine diving, limestone caves, diverse flora, along with amazing wildlife. Inquire about the owner financing options so that you can secure your piece of paradise today. With only a few lots remaining, these are sure to go before you know it. Contact Crichton Properties today on 345-949-5250 or info@crichtonproperties.com.
Recover Personal Injury Attorneys, helping injured people get what they deserve. Did you know that insurance companies have lawyers that represent their interests? Before signing and accepting any settlement, know your rights. Call us today for a free consultation at 924-9999. That's 924-9999. Recover. Your personal injury attorneys are on standby to assist.
Welcome back. So just a few comments coming in that are quite quite interesting. Okay, let's explore these two comments that just came in via WhatsApp. So this person says, Sandra Confidential, ask why this case is filed in the Financial Services Division, which when it concerns a probate and administration matter. The probate and administration rules are clear. She needs to challenge that, as it's not about the money, but the will. Why is that point being missing is a common law matter? So it's in the Financial Services Division? That is very odd. And I can certainly try to ask. Maybe there's a lawyer out there that can explain that one to us, because I've never seen a probate matter go to a financial services court. So, I've explained to you guys on this program before, there's different divisions within the court system. So they have like family court, they have drug court, there's regular criminal court, and there's one for financial services. So this person is saying that this is a financial services case, which is bizarre. Okay, I'll see what I can find out. Another person says, "Morning, Sandy. You see that person, Blair Webb Ebanks? I have yet to see a positive comment from her and any of the topics that you discuss in CMR. She seems to dislike your platform, but yet finds the time to always comment her disagreements on almost everything you discuss." Oh? Do we have a frenemy amongst us? Well, that wouldn't be unheard of. I don't know who the heck Blair Webb Ebanks is or who that's supposed to be. I'm certainly happy to inquire and find out if anybody knows who this is. There's a lot of fake accounts around the place. I don't really know if this is one of those or not. She owner at Plant Based Studio. Let me see what we can see about Blair Webb. Lives in West Bay, went to St. Andrew's School. Oh, she doesn't look like she's a Caymanian. Looks like she probably married one. Okay. She looks like a real person. Got a couple kids, a little boy and a little girl, so cute. And so she married this guy. He looks like a West Bayer. So yeah, some of these Johnny come latelys, honey child, they're offended by everything. Poor them. So, what I would suggest, I don't know who Blair is, but what I would say is, if you're not happy with, let's see who her friends are. She's got Laura Ribbons, Wendy Ledger, Kent McTaggart, James Whitaker, Joanne Brown from Celebrations, Harriet Loft. Yeah, what I would say, honey child, if you're not happy with what you see on, she's got an Airbnb property. If you're not happy with what you see on CMR, just unfollow. Don't make yourselves miserable. I care about you, Blair. I care about your happiness. Okay. I want to put a little smile on your face this morning. It's very important that you remain happy and content and satisfied. And if you don't like CMR, don't stress yourself out by even coming on the platform. Go comment over on the Compass where you can agree with everything that they say. What a hot mess. That's me over here sipping on my iced tea like I give a damn. Marshall says we have it all on CMR. Denver, good morning, honey child. How you doing? They can't handle some of their children, says Marshall. All right, let's talk about these young people now. I think that is Mr. Bryan's second stab at this. It's really needed. Second stab at what? Oh, the foreign advertisement. Listen, that advert is for the Filipino community and nobody else. So that's why it's in Tagalog. No, none of you who don't speak that language need to be shipping boxes to the Philippines, because that means you've probably been hoodwinked by some woman over there to support her and her whole family. So don't do it. It ain't your business. Don't worry about it. Yes, honey child. Gabby says, I understand people. They don't like CMR, but yet they're here every morning. Poor them. What a hot mess. Oh, anywho, they'll be all right. They still come into the platform for the sauce in the news. I don't know what their problem is, but whatever. All right, here's the thing. 15-year-old child, and I consider a 15-year-old child, pregnant in the Cayman Islands. My God. What is most disturbing about this is the fact that this young child, who just turned 16 last week, I understand, had the audacity to post up pictures of herself with the number 16, a balloon that says 16, and then in front of that is this big pregnant belly. Oh, somebody says Sandy Blair is, hold on now, somebody to give me the source and who she is. Sandy Blair is Miss Schmidt's nephew. This is a woman, actually. Is a he and not a she, to my knowledge. Not according to her Facebook, unless she had a sex change, which, I mean, in this day and age, anything's possible. I don't think so. I think Blair's a woman. She's got blonde hair. So I don't know. Went to FAU, St. Andrew's School. I don't know who the heck St. Andrew's School is, but oh, her cousin is Patrick. Oh, so this is Miss Schmidt that calls the show. This would be her nephew? Or is this a man? I'm confused now. So you're saying that Blair Webb is a man? With all these pictures of women? So he's just putting up pictures of the wife and not himself? Okay. So it's the man that's making these comments. Even worse, honey jail. Because some of y'all men worse than women. Anywho, I don't really care if it's a man, woman, or in between. Y'all need to get it together. Oh, Patrick is my little friend. Where's Patrick, by the way? I haven't seen Patrick in years. What is he up to these days? Is he in Cayman? I used to work Maples with Patrick. All right. Well, Blair, whatever you are, you'll be fine. I know this person says, no, it's a woman and they're from West Bay. Yeah, she'll be fine. Either way. All right, let's move on. 15 years old and pregnant. Wow. When I saw this, someone sent me a photo and I was like, I was confused. I'm like, is this a joke? That was my first question. Are y'all trying to be funny? And the person was like, no, Miss Sandy. This person is 16 and pregnant for a 21-year-old. All right. So it had to sink in for a minute for me, honestly. I thought to myself, 16 and pregnant by a 21-year-old. And got this big time belly. So that means you didn't just get pregnant yesterday. Looks like she's at least 6 months pregnant, probably going into her third trimester. And somehow this is something to be proud of as a 16-year-old. There's so many questions that I have. So many questions. What on earth is a 15-year-old child doing having sex? What kind of children are y'all raising now? Talk to me. 15 years old doesn't have the mental maturity to deal with sex. They're not ready. How? Now, after I started to ask some questions, and then, you putting up this thing like you're proud, he's holding your belly. I mean, he does look a little bit stunted and growth, to be honest. He doesn't look like he's 21, but he's 21, I'm told. The police and the MASH unit, instead of messaging me foolishness, need to contact this young man and get a case going. Maybe they're waiting till the baby's born because then there'll be no question about paternity because they can get DNA from the baby. 15. She just turned 16 years old. And this is apparently what got people all up in arms, is because she turned 16 and started posting all these pictures on social media. So she kind of outed herself. But everybody is like, Miss Sandy, how on earth can you explain this to us? And I'm like, I'm having a hard time understanding this myself. I don't understand it. This to me isn't normal. Okay? It's not funny. It's disgusting. This dude, 21. I don't care. Listen, it's rape. Okay? Most jurisdictions call it statutory rape. In this country, they have some defilement of a child under 16 because the age of consent in this country is actually 16. So there were people in the comment section, but she's 16 years old already. Miss Sandy. And I said, really? Did y'all also fail simple math? Okay. Because if she just turned 15 or 16, my apologies, and she's big and pregnant like this, you have to understand That did not happen overnight. You don't get a belly this big in 2 days. And why does she think that this is something to be proud of? This poor child, how misguided must she be to be celebrating her 16th birthday with a child on the way and feeling like this is something to post on social media? Where are the parents? That was the first question I had. Where is her father? Where is the grandparents? You know, where's the mother? So people started sharing with me what was going on, and they said, oh God, Sandy, I don't know if you want to open Pandora's box. But they said the mother apparently, this happened in Cayman Brac. The mother apparently sent her to the Bracs. I guess she must have not been able to raise her own child and was having issues with her and decided, well, she was going to send her away to Cayman Brac. Now, if y'all know anything about the Brac, I'm going to give y'all a fair degree of warning. Now, I know Mr. Curtis listening, and he probably going to take issue with this. And I'm going to feel sorry for you, Mr. Curtis. But I bet you cannot contradict me. There is too much foolishness, straight up, happening on the Brac because of idleness. They not got enough to do in Cayman Brac. And if you're not keeping a very, very close eye on your children, okay, what is happening is men, not just 21 years old, but 40-something years old, 50-something years old, 70-something, all these no good men that happen to live on the Brac are going after your children. The Brac has a high incidence of pedophilia going on around the place. Now, I chalk it up to boredom, but I know it's deeper than that. It is deep-seated in that community, and too many people for too long have turned a blind eye. Alcoholism and child molesters seem to run rampant on the Brac. And that's why anytime y'all hear me talk about the MPs in the Brac, and I'm questioning, why is it that they have never addressed this particular issue? It really leaves me baffled. I would like Madam Juliana O'Connor Connolly and Mr. Kirkernel, Moses Kirkernel. Whatever happened to Moses? Is he still an MP? He's fallen off the face of the earth. Can y'all discuss this? Can we hear the outrage in this topic? Because we know Juliana only gets upset at the LGBTQ plus community. You need to be upset that a 15-year-old child got pregnant by a 21-year-old in the Brac. And my understanding is, hear this, so now, that apparently the mother well and knew what was going on and said to somebody, well, it's better that he just be living in the house with her and shacking up with her, as opposed to her going out there with all these different men. Jeez, peace. Y'all have lost control. I was like, what? So the mother's solution and her thinking and what she has said to people is she would much rather have the child shacking out with a 20-year-old man, knowing what was going on under either her roof or her sister's roof in Cayman Brac, because the alternative, and she's going to be roving in the streets, sleeping with all sorts of different men. You look like there's something wrong with the child rearing in this situation. Does the child have a father in her life? What's going on here? So this is what was said to me. The mother of the girl above in the home with her and says that it was better for her to be with man than going from man to man. And when she had the child, she could go back and finish school. Wow. Parents. You all are the destruction and ruination of your own children. Do you listen to yourselves when you put this foolishness out in the atmosphere? How is it possible that any right-thinking individual actually believes that it is better for your child to be shacked up with a man, because the alternative is she gonna be roaming the streets with all kind of different men? Ooh, honey child, y'all need some Aunt Lottie in your life. 15 years old, I was not even allowed to have a boyfriend, much less talking about having sex. Who? Oh God, my aunt would have killed me. Seriously. Y'all need to rein it in. Parents, you're not doing a very good job. And you all are to blame when I'm hearing that this is allegedly your mentality. So here's the thing. People are saying, well, we're the police. This is a criminal offense. And this young man needs to go to jail. Now, I don't know who he is, but at the age of 21, he knows he's not supposed to be with a 15-year-old child. Okay? Now, what is that? A 6-year age difference? If she's 18 or she's 20, right? And you're 6 years older than her, listen, at that point, you're both consenting adults and it is what it is. But she is a child. She is still in school. Allow these children to remain children. Why are you guys out here force raping, as them old people would say, these poor children into sexual beings? They don't know how to handle it emotionally. Who's going to raise this child, by the way? A 15-year-old? Oh, my God. There is just so much wrong with this picture. I can't, literally the picture, that I cannot wrap my head around how this happened. Well, I know the logistics of how it happened, but I need the parents to step up to the plate. Came in detailing and saying, where are the police? Denver says, comes from a family that's probably of the same nature. Sad though. Well, Denver, it's interesting that you say that, because I don't know how much you know of what you're actually saying, but people talk, honey child. And definitely they're doing a lot of talking in Cayman Brack. One person said to me, Sandy, I was going to tell you about this, but I said, sure. Wait, because Sandy find out. This next person says, sounds about right. This is what I said. You look into that family and you find some very disturbing things. Denver, you're spot on. The little girls, I'll leave out the connection to little girl. Name is so-and-so. Ask the right people about him, and you'll find out a lot of disturbing S. He's a known pedophile. Just ask the right people. They say that his son, his own son, was pretty vocal about it. I was like, what? They said, yep, got some pretty sick people around here. Wow. My God. They said, if you heard the stuff that I'm hearing, unbelievable. And this person connected to her, they said, he is disgusting. Plenty known pedophiles in the Brack, but you dare not speak up. See how they go on when you point out the drugs? Half the people you see in Cayman Brack on drugs were abused and are known or well-known people by well-known people in the community. Nobody wants you digging up that for many reasons, trust me. And I've heard enough stories to know that something definitely needs to be addressed on the Brack in relation to this. The Brack needs to have their own mass unit just in Cayman Brack. That's how prolific the abuse is there of children. And it's by a lot of different people. People in high society, straight down. And they've been getting away with it. They're not being held accountable. People in church in big time positions, some of their pastors and church leaders are known child molesters in Cayman Brack. And when you hear the Brackers talk about this, I'm just like, how do you even be around these people? The second I hear that somebody is a child molester or has a history of that behavior, it makes me physically sick to my stomach. I don't even want to talk to that person. That's like every time I tell you I'll go to the grocery store and I see Mr. Webster roaming around the grocery store and he'd be looking at me. I'd be like, ew, don't look at me. Don't look at me. You should even have eyeballs in your head to be able to look at me. A 15-year-old, now 16, is going to become a parent at the hands of a 20-year-old. And y'all are so, I mean, listen, I saw some of the comments on what is this now? on Instagram, where some of y'all trying to justify this ridiculous behavior, talking foolishness, and I'm just like, what? Oh, when she's 16, leave her alone. My God. So Siobhan, I understand that the young man just started a little job 2 weeks ago. He was even working. Pure laziness. And they allowed her to be in a family home and the man staying there and be bred by this. So every single person who has been involved in this should be arrested for aiding and abetting the commission of this offense. I don't care if it's a child's mother. I don't care if it's the father. I don't care if it's the aunt. I don't care who it is. Y'all knew exactly what was happening with this child. And God knows when this relationship actually started and when this became sexual. Because I'm sure she didn't get pregnant the first time. How long has this been going on for? Since she was 14? Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. But it seems like this thing called shame is something that, doesn't come to you. So when we posted it, 15 and pregnant, like I said, some of the comments, this person says that this happens often. I've seen relationships around the same age men and even younger than 15 with 20-something-year-old men. The RCIPS needs to send a very, very strong message. They talk about they got this MASH unit. Y'all need to mash it and get it together. Right? You cannot be an 18-year-old messing with a 15-year-old. Not even a 17-year-old. Go find somebody your own age. You're out of school. What are you doing with a little school girl? What is it about your development that is so stunted that the only relationship you can have is with a child? You know how sick and disgusting that is? And it's unfortunate that this young lady does not have proper people in her life to guide her. Because honest to God, how did this even happen? How does she think that this is cool to be posting pictures? Here's one person says, drink water and mind my business. That's part of what's wrong with this community now. Y'all drinking water and minding your business, and our poor children are being taken advantage of, right? Are being subjected to this kind of thing. You gonna mind her business here shortly, because guess what? She's gonna be an NAU. She doesn't even have an education. How the hell is she gonna get a job? What is her future gonna look like? What is his future gonna look like? Does the boy have an education? Of course not. He ain't got nothing to offer her. So when she become NAU's next number one client, and we all paying that bill, then what? She gonna be your business then? When that poor child grows up in a disadvantaged home and more likely to be abused, because this is the reality of what happens when you have teenage mothers, is it then gonna be your business? Are you then gonna be concerned about it? You see, we are too quick to say, oh, I don't care. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't care what's going on. It's not my business. It should be your business. You should care about other people and other things, not just because it does not directly impact you. There's always a trickle-down effect. Take a look around, folks, right? We talk about poverty. We talk about lack of education. People who are not, unfortunately, going to get very far in life. And the vast majority of those people, this 15-year-old child, they fit that same profile. Already growing up in homes around adults who are making very, very poor decisions. And it's not going to stop. How many children do you think she can have by 25? You think it's only going to be this one? Come on now. Let's be honest. We need to care. Unbelievable. No, sir. Let's read a few more of the comments. This person says, this happens in Cayman a lot of times. I know a few. Wow. Unbelievable. This one says, yeah, there's a 16-year-olds having kids for 40-year-old men. Study your books and keep your legs closed. Apparently a lot harder to do that. Easy to say and harder to do. This person says insanity. It is insanity. Now, there is a question, and I don't really know much about the Young Parents Program, but someone actually shared with me that the Young Parents Program, so I think how it used to work is that the Young Parents Program was designed to specifically assist these young mothers, and it, made classes, I guess, a little bit more convenient for them to attend. It removed them from the traditional schools and environments and gave them additional support. Because a lot of these young mothers are struggling, and that's why I can't understand. You would think that after, they have the one that they would stop, that they would have learned that these boys, because I'm going to call them boys, although they're supposed to be men in age, right? Proper men don't go get a 15-year-old child pregnant. They're not having sex with a 15-year-old child. So, you're live on radio, honey child. Are you trying to call me? Oh, I can't even hear you. Hello? Oh, I think she's butt dialed me. All right. So, I understood that the YPP, the Young Parents Program, was actually meant to not necessarily exclude them, but to create a supportive environment where they had access to social services. They had access to NAU because pretty much they're all going to need it. They have access to all these other supportive things and, instructors and teachers who work specifically with them as young mothers. That has now been done away with. When was that done away with? So this person said to me that they asked about the unit and they were told that the YPP, which allowed young pregnant females to be excluded out of the school community and not be a part of that environment, also helped the girls to stay away from being pregnant at such a young age. It was told to me that they wanted the girls to feel inclusive. So this is no longer a thing and they keep them in regular schools. That's interesting. So you keep them in the regular school environment. How's that working out for you, government? When was this done, by the way? Can we find out? Juliana has been minister now for 2 terms. When was the YPP program dissolved? This doesn't make any sense to me. And I'd like to know the reasoning why, first of all. Let me see if this person can tell me. Anybody knows when it was dissolved? So what you've now created is an environment where this young lady is going to stay in school, walk around pregnant around other teens who they're going to think that that's cool and, oh, they must get pregnant too. Not too sure that makes any sense. Lily says, look at India and Thailand, where from 11, they're being sold as sex slaves. 15 in 2023 is like 25 years old. Is like 25. They're old enough. Say what? That's what we're aiming for. India and Thailand, where poor children are being trafficked. They're trafficked younger than 11, but that doesn't mean that it's right. And that doesn't mean that 15 is old enough. It's not old enough. That having relations with a 15-year-old and expecting a 15-year-old to get pregnant and have a child, that is so 1700s, child. That's what they did back in those days. Nobody in their right mind does that anymore. We have evidence, folks, that the human brain is not fully developed until a young person is 25 years old. So a 15-year-old is still a child. Why on earth would anybody think that that's old enough? Old enough for what? Huh? Just because you can spread your legs and you can actually carry a child to term does not mean that you are ready for that responsibility. It does not mean that you're old enough. This is the type of narrative that if we're having that conversation in this community, this demonstrates exactly where the problem lies. Is this what y'all telling your children, that 15 is old enough? Jamila says, and then she know her daughter wasn't on protection. So her obligation as a mother was to make sure she got in protection. Well, that's even worse. It's bad enough that you're allowing a 21-year-old into your home to lay down with your daughter every night and have sex with her. You should be beaten with a cow cod. That would actually be good treatment for you. That's disgusting. What is wrong with you? I can't hold a 15-year-old responsible. I'm telling y'all. I just told you her little brain not going to develop fully until she's 25. That's why children have parents and guardians and grandparents and aunts and uncles that should be looking out for them. So you mean to tell me that not a single soul in this child's life saw this situation and thought, that's not right? Even if the mother was allowing it, she don't have uncles that could have gone up to their sister and say, excuse me, sis, why you got this man living up in your house with your 14, 15-year-old child? Well, I hope the mother now is going to take on the responsibility of raising the grandchild and allow this young lady to go back to school and to try to finish her education. This is a crying shame. And what is even more of a crying shame, that nobody could guide this young lady about taking these photos and putting them in the public domain. Why would she do that? Because she think this is cool. This is, acceptable behavior. And you know what is so crazy? A couple of years ago, we posted something about a young lady who was having a baby shower at the school facility. And everybody, y'all thought that was cool too. I was like, huh? What? Y'all need to help. Y'all need to help me understand how this works. Because I just don't get it. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sandy. How are you today?
My dear, I'm confused. How are you?
Please do not be. For the lack of knowledge, my people will perish.
Lord Jesus.
Let me give you a little story.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it was Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I was coming into Palmdale where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And as I made the second turn, I saw 4 little children. That's what I call children.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what this time of morning, what's so much children doing on the road in Palmdale?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. So I passed them and went drop her off, and on the way back out, they stopped me. And they stopped. They actually stepped out in the road and stopped. You hearing me?
Yeah, sorry. I picked up another call, but we actually have a gentleman speaking now, so we'll come to you in just a minute. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so when I was back leaving from home, one of them that I recognized, he stepped out in the road, and I had to stop. He was trying to stop me from passing. So I rolled the windows down, and I recognized the girl that I saw among the 4 boys. So I didn't ask her anything. I just said, which one of you that baby belonged to, meaning which one of the boys, right? And the girl, she was the first to answer, just say, it's mine. I'm like, oh my God. I said, but what are you doing with baby? And you're a baby too? She smiled. So the boys all came to the window. Sir, could you give me $1? Could you give me $1, please? I mean, little boys, school boys. So I have a question now. Listen, I have a question.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
Sandra, that little girl I saw running up and down every evening in Palmdale.
My God.
With one particular boy. And I'm like to myself, who is she and where's the parent? And I mean, she ran till sundown. And I'm like, oh my God. Then I said to myself, if she don't stop doing what she's doing, she goes to be pregnant. That's the same when they have the baby. School girl. Listen now, I have a question. Had it been this lady that you're talking about, the school girl that you were talking about, that is whatever, how many months pregnant, had it been a teenager or a school pair got her pregnant, would the story be changed from instead of a 21-year-old?
It's a good question, because I mean, there are some of these girls who even like younger boys. But I think the criminal justice system, and I'm going to double check on this for you, that if they're the same age or younger, the criminal justice system doesn't seem to do anything about it. But in my mind,
They
it's the
cannot.
same offense, but because they're not over the age of 16 themselves.
Sandra, they cannot.
Wow.
I know you are not as old as I am, but I remember when I was maybe almost 18, I didn't know where the hell babies come from. They used to trick us and tell us post office, Santa Claus kind of crap. Now, in primary school, they're teaching the little children where babies come from. So what do you think they'll do? And another thing, when I said first, for the lack of knowledge, people will perish. Revelation, the last day, the last book in the Bible speaks about prophecy, end time prophecy. Children will be having children wars and rumors of war, buildings and tearing down buildings. When I was a child growing up, people were glad to have a house. It doesn't matter how old it were, they were comfortable in it. Now I see them taking down 2-story buildings that look brand new to put up 10 stories. That's a part of prophecy. We are living in the last days, and who can't see it will perish. Because the lack of knowledge of why people perish. All right? And
Thank you, my dear.
Believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life.
Yes.
So if you do not know the signs and you see them coming, you will get in trouble. It's just like you're driving in a car and the sign says slow down, and they show you the sign that there's a corner coming up, and you don't pay it any mind, or you see it, you don't know what it means. You can continue doing what you're doing, then you're gonna get in trouble.
Yes. Thank you so much, caller.
If you do not know what's going on, you will be confused, like you said.
Wow.
Have a good one.
Thanks, too. All right, we've got another call on the other line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yeah,
Yes, hello, caller. Hello. Okay, you got to call us back, honey child. 936-2626. Let's read some of these messages. Ogier says that parents need to hear more information. Oh, I think we read that one already. My apologies. Diamond Princess said earlier, we live in an era where most young girls have no value in keeping their virginity. I can't blame the parents because some of them try their best with their kids, but some are just disobedient and think that they know more than the parents, don't even know why they even started having sex at such a young age. Well, I tell you what, Diamond Princess, one of my observations is that children do what they see. So some parents, oh yeah, I tell her not to have sex and this and that, blah, blah, blah. But the children are watching you in a dysfunctional relationship, or watching you with a revolving door to your home where you have men coming in and out of your house. I see some of these Caymanian girls, child, they've had so many men that I have to wonder how they even keep track. Their black book is full. And you have children, teenagers and young children. You don't think that that has an impact on them? How many husbands you can have? How many men you can have coming in and out of your house? They see that promiscuous lifestyle. And they think that that's okay. They're picking up on that. So you can't not be living the example and think that, oh, just because you tell your children one thing, that they're going to listen to you. Nisha says she's not the first and won't be the last. People back in the day were being married often 15 years old. And guess what, Nisha? That was back in the day. We now know better. We now know a lot better. That's why the law has the age of consent at 16. Because we have matured past marrying off 12-year-old children. And, you know, I read a lot of history and I watch a lot of YouTube history videos and stuff. And I forget which prince it is because, you know, the royal family was marrying young and this sort of thing. But there was one of them where her aunt, the father was like, oh, yeah, I think she was like 12 or 13 or something. He's like, yeah, marry off. And the aunt protested, saying she's too young. Please wait until she's at least 16 or 17. And this was back like in the 1700s, maybe the 1800s. I have to find the exact one. But anyway, back then, women were seen as property. We didn't have any rights, right? So we were there for old men to take advantage of because the only value you had to your family was your virginity. And they married you off. That's why on the night of your wedding, they wanted to test. And sometimes, depending on the medieval times and when it was, they would actually have someone there watching you to see if you were actually a virgin. They would check the sheets afterwards because they expected to see certain things to prove your virginity. Because your virginity had value to the family, monetary value. They got paid for it. That's why in this day and age, you still have things like dowries and this, that, and the next thing. And even when people in certain cultures rape you and take your virginity from you, no fault of your own, the family says, oh, you're the one who brought shame to the family, and now you have to marry that person that you don't even know. Because that's the only way your dignity and the family's dignity can be restored. Now, those things are ridiculous, to be honest. But we know better than to be marrying off 14-year-olds. And in fact, I want to challenge this government today to raise the age of consent from 16 to 18. Why is it even 16? I've just told you all these little girls are not mature enough. Why is it 16? It's time that we consider raising it to 18, in fact. And we need some serious programs in our schools talking to these young ladies and men and boys, I should say properly, from elementary school straight up, make it age appropriate, that you do not need to be looking for love in the hands of these other boys or girls or whatever it is that you're looking for. But you see, when you go and you check out the environment that a lot of these young people are coming from, unfortunately, most of them do not have a good male figure in their lives. You know how important men are to their little daughters to help them have good, not just any man, a good father, to show them how to, have good self-esteem. Don't let men take advantage of them, to show them how they should be treated, to demand respect from other people. And the fathers are also responsible for teaching the young men, the young boys, how to respect women. I'm so shocked at the Caymanian families that will have a 12 and 13-year-old boy and think that it's okay that he's out there having sex. They don't even see him in the same light that they do their female children. Oh, but he's a boy, I'm like, what? I know all men, now they're in their 80s, tell me that they were losing their virginity at age 9. And they laugh about it and they think that that's something funny, because back in those days, it was like, well, I became a man at age 9. I was like, what? At age 9? Are you kidding me? I don't even have little boys can even get an erection at age 9. I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense to me. And just because you can physically do something does not mean you should do it. You're emotionally and mentally not prepared. But we send a lot of really poor messages to our children. We treat boys and girls very, very differently. So if you're telling a 12-year-old boy he can go out there and have sexual intercourse, who do you think he can be having it with? Chances are he wants somebody younger than him. And that's why there's such a large instance of child-on-child molestation happening right here in this community as well. But nobody wants to talk about it. Because, the victim and the perpetrator are both children. It's different. Different how? You think it's any less damaging to victims? Johan says, Auntie Sandy on the case, so somebody hashtag salt, somebody's hashtag salt plus will now. RCIPS will finally be compelled to look into it. Well, I suggest that they do. Moya says, the fact that as a community we keep finding ways to excuse sex offenders, child predators, and pedophiles is very disturbing. Thank you, Moya. Everyone is willing to excuse it and turn a blind eye. Weed these people out of our community and hold them accountable. When they prey on children under 18, like I said, raise the age of consent to 18. No one's child can be 100% safe. They're not always in our eyesight 24 hours a day. Today, it's that child. Tomorrow, it could be your very own. My God. Not if I can help it. I know she'd not be bringing no man up in my house. No, sir. Marshall, it says, it sounds like the BRAC is lawless. What's really going on? But since they have no representation, nothing will ever change on the BRAC. Wanda says, why aren't you ladies in birth control? I don't understand. Ladies? She's a child. The entire household needs to be in jail. Pure slackness, says Marshall. Wanda, she's a child. Are physicians, they might be for 16-year-olds, I don't know. But are they giving birth control to 14 and 15-year-olds in this day and age? They're just started their period, like they're not even having proper hormone regulation yet. And the solution is to go out there and put them on birth control? I mean, let me tell you, getting pregnant is one thing. The fact that the child is having sex to begin with is where we need to start the conversation. Ms. Brenda says you hit the nail on the head. Stunted development, psych evaluation seriously needed here. Mr. Ranford says that's my ex-wife wanted me to do to allow a married man in my house with my 16-year-old daughter. What? Because he gave her a birthday gift. Oh my God. Sandy, I get so mad only because I have faith why I didn't do the unthinkable. Then she got New Testament. Then she'd go New Testament church and go tell her church people, I'm too miserable. Thank God he delivered me from that evil, greedy. Oh my God. Your own wife, well, you say ex-wife, sorry, wanted your daughter, your 16-year-old daughter, to have a married man in your house because he's giving her stuff. You see when I tell you where the problem lies? And yes, up in church. Let's not miss that part of what Mr. Ransford just said. Alex says, preach it, Sandy. We need to break the cycle. Alice says Sandy is the teenager, 16 or 15. She's now 16. So she's literally just turned 16. So she posted those pictures a couple of days ago, celebrating her 16th birthday. She was 15, obviously, when she got pregnant. Pat says one of the leading causes in the increase of one of the leading causes in the increase, I think it's supposed to be, of child abuse incidents. Ms. Wanda says, I hear plenty of people saying, oh, she's 15 going on 40. Many young ladies act so old, not mature, but older, and parents don't know what to do with them. Well, I tell you what they need to do with them, Wanda, is they need to start doing their jobs before the child turns 14 and 15 years old. Because the truth of the matter is, right? By the time a child is 13 years old and you've not done a single thing in terms of giving that child some principal positions in life, you think it's going to start at 12? It's going to start at 13? No, you need to be having conversations from a long time ago, from day one with your children. You need to build up your children's self-esteem so that no man can come around your children talking about, oh, let me touch you. I want to be your boyfriend, this and that. No. Like I said, I've never even heard of such a thing. I was allowed to have no boyfriend at 15 and 16 and 17. When I became an adult over the age of 18, then you could get a boyfriend. And you would still, if you were still living under my aunt's roof, you certainly wouldn't be having one up at her place. I can tell you that much. Lord Jesus, something wrong. This person says that the YPP program is still functioning. Oh, is it? Do they have a branch of it in Cayman Brac? Because it looks like they're going to need one now. I mean, I don't know if she's going to be the only person in it, but is one in Cayman Brac. John LaRue says, where's Ozzy now with the cow cod? Poor Ozzy. He can go down legendary with that cow cod, boy. Y'all need to make me a cow cod so I can see it. This person says having a baby is the be. Sorry. Oh, okay. Hold on now. Just hopping on. YPP is still offered at the Family Resource Center. Majority of the girls refuse birth control and they can't be forced. Some want to get pregnant because they think the baby is a toy. They never recovered. Having a baby is the be all and end all for them. And they find out soon enough when the hardships hit. Well, here's the thing. I must say, and I know this is going to sound very, 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 I don't know what y'all gonna think about this. And I frankly, again, I don't care. This is going to maybe sound like too controlling, but I believe that if you need NAU services, you should not be having any more children. So when you come to NAU and you have a child, that means that you can't take care of yourself and you can't take care of your child. So this is how it would go down if I was head of NAU or head of this government. You don't get to have a choice. You're already pregnant and have one child? We got to stop you in your tracks there until you can afford to have more on your own, not on the dime of this country. So you will have long-term birth control implanted. This is not a choice. Here's how it gonna work, honey child. Look, see the document, yeah? You want to sign up for NAU services? There's certain things that you've got to do. Number one, you have to be in birth control. And we're not going to leave it up to you to take the pill every single day, because y'all going to be forgetting to do that. So we're going to talk about some other options that are available to you. Okay? Number two, you need to find a job or you need to be in school. Which option would you like? Oh, no education? Then you need to be in school. And not only are you going to have to be in school, but you better come with some decent grades. We will help you if you need additional tutoring, et cetera, et cetera. That's what NAU is supposed to be there for. A pull up, a hand up in life, not a handout. Because what happens is we get people on this hamster wheel over at NAU and they never get off. I've seen people live their entire lives, the vast majority of their adult lives, as an NAU client. That is not what NAU is supposed to be about. Okay? And so NAU themselves need to have some standards. Okay, you can't do school. You can't find a job, because they all complain, oh, they can't find a job. Okay. You know what? We got a lot of volunteer work around the place. Those streets that need cleaning up, that every half year we have to pay people to get some motivation to go to work and clean up the streets. Oh, no. You're an NAU client. You're getting paid $1,400 a month towards your rent. You're getting food vouchers. You're getting this. You're getting that. Guess what? You have got to recontribute the equivalent of that back into this community. And how are you going to do that? You're going to volunteer. The Pines can use you. You can clean up the streets of the Cayman Islands. You can go to the what's the place with the dog? The Humane Society. I don't really care where you go, but you're going to have supervised volunteerism. And that's how it's going to go if you expect to get any money from the government. Simple as that. You're not going to be able to sit down all day smoking pot up in your place, up in Belford Estates, and got all these little picnic running around you at your feet, seeing you sitting down smoking pot and lying down every 2 seconds having another child. 936 Bobo is his telephone number. Moya says 15 isn't old enough. I'm here trying to get my children to follow their grandmother and aim for nothing earlier than 29. Even then, go live your life. You young people, take it from me. Go out there in your 20s. Don't even get married before you're 30. Go live your best life. Get your education. That's your first priority. Get a piece of paper and something. I don't care if it's electrical, if it's mechanics, if it's electrical engineering, if it's plumbing, machinery. I don't care. Miss Stacy, Zeus is driving me crazy with that barking. Just let him in here, because he's getting a bit feisty now. Where's his training collar, by the way? I bet you if I had that on me, he wouldn't be barking. Listen to me. Prioritize your education first and foremost. Formal and otherwise. Traveling and seeing the world is part of your education. Get out there. See places. Check something off your bucket list. Then you can start thinking about relationships with people. And most of them not bringing nothing of value to your life. Headaches. Baby mama drama. Looking to live off of you. That's what a lot of these men and women out here are trying to do in these streets. Take your time. Rocky says, but wait. What about the woman here in Cayman who had a child from a 16-year-old? It's not cool because it's the other way around. I don't know what woman that is, but it's never cool. And in both instances, it's rape. This is what I just said, Rocky. I don't care if it's men, but you see, in this culture, we want to treat men differently. we want to say that a 12-year-old boy is a man and he's ready for sexual relations, which is absolutely disgusting. What on earth, Cameron? I don't know what Cameron's talking about there. Was that somebody who did a live stream? And yes, they were doing something with whipped cream and stuff on Instagram. Y'all always be so. Oh, good morning, caller.
Yeah, morning, Sunday.
Morning.
I gotta try my best to be so annoying today. Talking about the pets. You try to give a child a pet, like a hamster or a bird or something like this. I can guarantee you, I mean, when I say a child from they start talking, that could be 4 years old, 3 years old. I don't know how old they would be when they start talking, right? But when they start understanding, taking care and responsibility of a pet, I can guarantee you the want and need of having a child will disappear or either prolong itself. Like, instead of wanting it earlier, you might probably see them wanting it 24, 25. I have a sister, she's 21, and I don't think it even slipped across her mind of even having a child. I'm not saying that it not her agenda one day, but I can just say I've seen her having her little pets and her hamsters and stuff, and she wasn't the best caretaker. So she didn't think about, oh, I want another one. Every dog that we had, it was from her, and she leaves it at her dad's house. So I don't think that. I think that encouraging children for responsibility, first of all, make them see how it is to take care of another living thing, is a good exercise for children. And it will encourage them less to think about these things.
Yeah, I mean, let's be very clear here. You need to have conversations with these young girls, right? You can't wait until they are sexually active to then talk about the importance of not giving it away. It's already too late.
Exactly.
So, and this is why I say a lot of these young ladies obviously do not have any decent father figures or mothers, for that matter, in their lives.
Yeah, and like I was watching a documentary, Jordan Peterson, and he was talking about underage or teenage pregnancies, I would call them. He said that they nowadays you'll find boys that have seen more naked women and stuff like this than great kings in past days. Like they'll be exposed a lot earlier than you would assume because of certain things that they have been introduced to through the families. You have parents that probably still have a high sex drive after having a child, and I still think it should be a priority where we would stop thinking about ourselves sometime while we have our children. And sometimes I'm only assuming that people want to get rid of their children for a time period just so that they can keep loving themselves. But I just say I want to put it out there that, I mean, encourage your children to have responsibilities like a pet, and that will show them in the future what a child can bring.
Thank you very much, caller.
You're welcome.
All right, folks. I didn't even realize the time. My gosh, look at that. 10:33 already. What hot mess. I don't know, boy. Such a sad situation. Anyway, I can only wish that young lady good luck, and I hope that I'm not here next year that she's pregnant with another one again. I don't know. Such a sad situation. Denver says NAU needs to have educated people working there and not ones helping friends and friends of friends to collect the money. Meanwhile, turning down people that need the help. The stories I've heard, even people working and collecting money. There are, without a doubt, Denver, people who are abusing that system. And I think that indeed that is most unfortunate. But it does help people who genuinely need help as well. We just got to close all those gap holes of abuses because those are public funds. So Alejandro is asking if I'm comfortable talking to my daughter about the birds and the bees. I think things need to be appropriate in context for the age of the child. So she's only 7 years old. I'm not going to sit down and have a big time conversation with her about all of these things. But, I'm also not going to ignore it and not talk to her about anything at all, because she needs to know, for example, that nobody should be touching her privates, not even me. Right? She's able to wash herself, and I've taught her how to double check, make sure everything's clean. These are real conversations y'all need to have with your children. Right? And I said, nobody can touch you here, there, and there, and there. Don't let anybody kiss you on your lips, because when she was younger, she's a very affectionate child, and she always wanted to kiss on the lips. And I said, no, I don't even allow her to kiss me on the lips, because I don't want her to think that that's okay. Because when some man comes and tries to kiss her on the lips, she might be like, oh, well, I can kiss my mommy on the lips, so maybe there's nothing wrong with it. No. Kiss on the cheek, and only certain people get to do that. Nobody else is kissing you anywhere else. Don't make them touch you with a nasty mouth. So you need to know how to have conversations, like I said, age-appropriate conversations with your children. Ms. Dorothy says the dress code, little girls dressing like adults, they feel like they're grown. But an outfit does not make you grown, honey child. And I also agree, Miss Dorothy, that a lot of parents need to pay attention to how your children are acting. If they're acting a little bit too mature for their age and wanting to dress a particular way, you better try and rein that in. There's a lot that parents can do to protect children, but y'all falling asleep at the wheel because some of y'all too busy out in these streets sliding around yourself, truth be told. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the problem. See what Melinda says? Hashtag single and happy. Hashtag I can sleep at night. Hashtag peaceful life. Focus on your children and not these no good men out in these streets. Anyway, folks. Gabby says exactly, and stop letting social media grow your kids. That's another problem. I don't know why most of you have your children even on social media. What are these little teenage girls doing on social media? Why are y'all letting them have a social media account? What for? All these smartphones, and they be chatting on Snapchat and this one and that one. Take these phones away from these children. What do they need smartphones for? And then y'all complain, but you can't pay CUC. That's because you just dropped $1,500 on a damn phone. My beautiful people, that's another episode, another show. I'll pray for this young lady. She can need more than prayers. And I hope that the Brat community, somebody can step forward and perhaps talk some sense into her and give her some good guidance, because clearly, like I said, the family ain't doing it. And at the same time, I would encourage the police to charge this young man. Now, that might sound a little bit harsh, but he would have known that having sex with a 15-year-old child, at least by the time she was 15, maybe even younger, we don't know, right, is against the law. And it's called defilement of a child under the age of 16. I'm also going to encourage the government of the Cayman Islands, this PAC government, pay attention now. Y'all need to raise the age of consent. Okay? Somebody said that, Sandy, why has the government not changed the age of consent to 18? It's 18, should be 18 for sex, driver's license, and to vote. Prevention is better than cure. Means it's better to stop the problem than solving the problem. I would encourage them to closely look at it. Some years ago, I remember the chamber asked the question, it was one of their questions, about raising the age of consent. And one particular MP from Bordentown, I think he was confused by the question, because he was like, isn't it high enough already, or something like that? Like I don't think he understood what the age of consent meant. And so he kind of answered it like in the reverse. And I was like, huh? Are we actually electing people that don't even know what the age of consent is in this country and what that means? Evidently we are. And so we need to have a whole conversation about that hot mess of a situation as well. These older men who find these young girls attractive, it's just because they find somebody that they can easily manipulate and use. This man could give you a little phone. He's a married man. So you're going to give him access to your 16-year-old daughter? You wouldn't even know what I would do to him if he even came up to my daughter talking about he had gift her something. It wouldn't be a cow card that you'd be getting, I can tell you that. You'd be getting something a little bit firmer up your rear end. Disgusting piece of shit. Y'all need to stop it. All right, my beautiful people. Have a good day. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning, Thursday. Be good.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.